What is going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here. Welcome back to another post-match fan show. Spurs have beaten Southampton 4-1 in the opening game of the 22-23 season. After so much pre-season optimism, Spurs went 1-0 down after 12 minutes, and everyone was like, "Oh, what were we so excited about?" But a brilliant response from the team. They clawed it back. They absolutely wiped the floor with Southampton in the end, and it was a very, very convincing display. I'm joined here by Brains McLeod today. How are we doing, Brains? You happy with how things have gone so far?
Yeah, not bad. And that excitement's now going to be through the roof.
Definitely.
8-1 predictions for next week. Yeah, no,
exactly.
it was awesome. To see them respond like that was actually kind of not better, because it does suggest a little bit of sort of defensive frailty, but to come back showed like composure and strength. So I'm super stoked with that.
Yeah, and I just think the performance in general was so strong. We were able to create so many chances, especially in the second half. It felt like we just went up a gear and Southampton couldn't cope with it, which is what Hassan Hüttl said in his post-match comments, that he feels that after 20 minutes, Spurs, they went to a place where Southampton couldn't keep up with. And that's exactly what I thought of on the pitch. And we were scintillating at times. And I thought Kulusevski, in terms of the forward line, he was just so red hot today. No pun intended with his ginger hair, but he was absolutely fantastic. His golden assist, and every time he got the ball, he looked like he was going to be a threat. He looked like he was taking people on. He looked so full of confidence, and it was so great to see. And hopefully we see that more throughout the season. But yeah, look, we're top of the league after one game, which you don't look. People say title challenge. We're challenging for the title already after one game. There you go. But this is your chance to have your say. It's time to get some fans on to discuss the demolition of Southampton. The link is in the community section for all fans who want to have their say. But without further ado, let's talk to Brian Daigle. And we got the headphones. There we go. Yeah, don't forget about them. Brian, 1 second, and my headphones are stuck.
Yeah, this rookie behaviour from you guys on the first day of the season.
My headphones are stuck.
As soon as we started, he spilled the beer everywhere, and I was like, "God damn it, Sam.
What is going on here? It's all tangled up now.
Daigle, where are you at there? Yeah, outside the Scotland Yard?
I am outside the world famous Scotland Yard, and all I will say is, the streak continues. The stain remains.
The stain must remain.
The stain, mate, what a performance!
And it's all thanks to that stain. I honestly, I am humbled that the stain is still on the shirt, and that is what has gifted us 3 points today, and that performance as well.
Brains loves the stain. The brain loves the stain.
What an absolute performance, though. How incredible was that?
Yeah, I mean, what were you thinking after 12 minutes and we're 1-0 down and, things maybe aren't going our way? Were you still confident we could turn it around, or were you starting to think maybe we shouldn't have been so optimistic?
So I'll tell you what, once it went 1-0 down with James Ward-Prowse, obviously you're like, oh, here we go. And I literally, Bobby Kay was sitting in front of me and the Scotland Yard was packed. And I sat to Bobby and I was saying, now we see how lucky this shirt is. And as I said that, Sessegnon put a header in the back of the net. I was like, oh, okay. And then obviously from then on in, and do you know what? What I loved about this performance is after going 1-0, the heads didn't drop. And that performance was that was a stellar performance. And I think Kane and Son were the worst two players on the pitch, in all honesty. I think they had literally, and I mean, they had an off day. They had an off day, but the thing is, if that's what we're going to play like when they have an off day, imagine how fantastic we're going to be when they're back on fire.
Yeah, is that a good thing, Brian? Like, because we didn't seem to need them. We didn't see, we weren't so predictable today.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's the thing. And before people start going, oh my God, Brian, you don't know what you're talking about. Kane weren't that bad. So I don't mean they literally. It was just their off games. They weren't at their normal standard. But yeah, that's got Brains. You look at it, mate, and I mean Harry Kane's passing, his radar seemed completely off today at times when it was needed. But when you got Southampton players scoring own goals like that, who needs Harry Kane playing the ball? But yeah, I mean it can only be a good thing, because we need to find other ways to win when they're not on their A game. And Kulusevski was most certainly on his A game and so were other
Put
players
an extra
today.
syllable in there. Kulusevski.
Yeah, I think we need to, mate. I think we need to, mate. I mean, I'm just absolutely delighted with how we performed. And you know what? It was just like, let's score more than Arsenal did, just so we can go above them and put them back in their box after 24 hours. And we've done that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've done that.
In terms of the wing backs today, goal for Sessegnon, 2 assists for Emerson, 2 players who've come under quite a bit of criticism over the past few months, especially Emerson.
I'm standing right here.
What
what
do you have to say about that?
Well, what I do have to say about that is when I've been on your shows or any other shows, I've always backed Sessegnon. I said, I think there's a player there, and you've heard me say it when I said, I think that he's a better wing back than Reguilon is. And today, man, he looked like a man possessed, didn't he?
He proved it.
He really did. Where last season he was getting forwards, but he didn't really create, and he stopped and started. He literally, what a man possessed. And like you said, Royale, I think Royaldinho, I'm calling it. Do you see the flicks and the fade passes he was putting on? Whether they were intentional or not, we don't know. But mate, I think there might be a drug test inquiry for a few of our players, because they look like they're on another planet today compared to last season.
Do you think that's a result of the fact that now we have stacks of players in positions and now there's a war for the spot?
What brains 100%, my man. 100%. I mean, the Perisic effect has been immediate with Sessegnon, hasn't it? And not just what he delivers on the pitch, the stuff that he'll bring off the pitch. That team, and you even saw the bench we brought on. It's astonishing. It was astonishing today. I think Højbjerg was great. Bentancur. I mean, most of the team had a stellar performance, and you can't knock it. Listen, 4-1 on the first game of the season. All right, we didn't keep a clean sheet. But we all would have bitten our hand off. And how brilliant is it that Bob Spurs' scoreline finally came in when he's there? I've got
Brilliant.
little K. Say hello. I've got little K with
little
me.
K, how are you doing? You all right?
And then I've
Who's
got
your man
Big
of the
K, and
match?
I've got Bobby. Come on, man. I've got the K's with
Everyone
me.
in.
Got the K.
I don't know
Let's
who
go,
everyone's man.
bundle. Come on. There we go. Come on, just wait. Let me move this back. Come on, boy. Come on.
It's Bobby K. It's Bobby K. It's Bobby K.
Jesus, goddamn Christ.
No, Jesus, it's just the Kangs.
Okay, my God. Bloody hell, that was...
Eagle and the
thank
K's.
you for the DBH of the eardrums. Thank you. Yeah. Back to you guys.
Love it, Brian. Who was your man of the match then today?
I'm going Kulusevski. I think he was just astonishing today. The way he took his goal as well. But going into Chelsea now, how much more confident are we going into Chelsea now with that? I mean, it was a performance to be proud of. It's a performance to build on.
It was a statement, wasn't it? It was a total statement.
The brains without a doubt. And I'll tell you what, mate, with a couple more additions now, with a couple more additions here and there, I'm not going to be one of those who are going, oh yeah, now we're winning the league, because we ain't. But my God, that's where everyone was saying, our Spurs going to mean business, our Spurs going to do anything. I think we've just laid down the biggest marker you could, and what a wonderful way to start the season.
Brian, is Kulusevski a better signing now than Diaz? Is that a fact now? Surely at this stage.
I think you've got to look at it that way. I mean, obviously Diaz came with this, and I'll be honest, and I didn't know a lot about. I knew a bit about Kulusevski. I knew nothing about Bentancur, but I loved what I saw from Luis Diaz. And if you said to me right now, if you said you can go back in time now and change the pair of them, not a chance.
Not a chance.
Not a goddamn chance. This guy, he is just absolute class, and he's only going to get better under Conte. He's absolutely incredible.
Yeah,
I wouldn't change
scoring
him.
bits on now. Like I genuinely see, like we always talk about like Kane and Son for like Golden Boot, battling it out for Golden Boot. But I think there's nothing to say that Kulusevski couldn't. With his, obviously he's more of a creative and assist. I don't know. Like he scored like incredible goal for Sweden. In the preseason. Like
he did.
He was scoring really well. Like
the Norwich game, the end of last season, he scored a brilliant goal.
If he gets that confidence, I'm saying, like, and we start playing it the way like how we can and how we showed today. Like, I don't see any way that he doesn't pick up a couple of goals every other game.
I mean, he's got serious. I've always said he's got serious ability in that left foot, and I didn't criticize him, but I was always saying like we didn't really see that curler into the far corner until the Norwich game.
Yeah.
But I kept saying this guy has that in him,
Yeah.
like to
Like,
pick
that's
that out
his
every
trademark
time.
shot,
Every
yeah.
time. And as soon as he starts banging them in, we're going to see it no more often than not. He curled one in against Norwich, and he did exactly the same today, didn't he, Brian?
Let me ask you this, Brian. Do you think?
Yep.
Do you think Richarlison steps in? I mean, like, do you think who does Richarlison come in, if any, in that front line? Do you think it's an easy in, or has he just got to wait?
That's not an easy in. I think he'll start off the bench against Chelsea. But again, look at the additions we brought on in this game. You bring on a Richarlison against Chelsea, and I mean, isn't it amazing how the pre-seasons we made look like they're Premier League fixtures and made hard work of it, and the first Premier League game we made look like an exhibition. It's ridiculous, but with the depth is there, and Richarlison to come on off the bench and just add to that depth and add to that. I mean, Basuma looked good everyone looked good when they came on.
Perisic looked great as well, yeah.
Oh, mate, but then listen, we've all been saying this. Perisic is, for me, he is still, and we would need to sign some hell of a player to top him as our top signing. He is just absolutely 100% pure class. Pure class.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with
Really
that.
agree. And I'm so happy he's part of that front three and part of the squad. Brian, lovely to see you, mate, as always. And keep that stain on that shirt for as long as
I'm going to go
possible.
home. I think I'm going to have to put this in the freezer and freeze it and only bring it out on match days. So, I have to find out. I'm going to have to find out something to do. Mate, literally, I doused it in deodorant all last night. Today I'm wearing Joop, so it's been sprayed with about half a litre of Joop. Now I'm going to have to get home and find another way. I'm looking for sponsors of deodorants and aftershaves. So any aftershave or deodorant company want to keep this. Exactly, the stain must remain, and I've got to keep this shirt under lock and key and stop Ilana getting from it. So it will be warm for Chelsea, trust me. And guys, listen.
I wonder what other powers it has, Brian. Is it just helping you out with Spurs, or is your whole life turned around since the stain?
I don't know, mate. When I start a new job tomorrow on Monday, who knows? Maybe I should just wear it 24/7.
Promoted first week.
Stupid things that I'm capable of.
Like,
We're
God, promote that
but guys,
stinky guy. He's
honestly,
wearing he really needs help. He's wearing the
There you
same
go.
clothes every day. Give him a promotion. Jesus.
Have you bought a lottery ticket since you started wearing the shirt, Brian? Maybe you should give that a go.
no, but I am buying one on the way home. I am buying one on the way home. And when I fly home for the Chelsea game in my private jet, I think you'll know how lucky it is.
Absolutely brilliant. Brian, always a
Guys,
pleasure,
listen,
mate.
love you loads. See you
Love you
later.
too,
Love
Brian.
to everyone in the box. See you later, people. Ta-da.
Take
ya.
care, Brian.
See ya.
What a lad.
Nice one, love it. Absolutely, the stain must remain. Just watching the Chelsea-Everton game, there was a serious
horrible injury, yeah.
to Ben Godfrey, who was on the floor, who was getting
real
treatment
bad,
for
yeah.
over 10 minutes.
And it all came from
a
Pickford's mistake. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got it on here. So any goals, obviously, we'll keep you up to date. Mount just had a shot saved by Pickford, so it's still nearly a goal there. For Chelsea, it's still 0-0 there after 18 minutes, but going to be a lot of first half stoppage time in that one. So we'll keep you up to date. Next guest we're going to have on the show is Dan at THFC. Let's get him on.
Dan the man.
Dan, how are we
How's it
doing
going,
today,
guys?
mate? You're looking happy, mate. How
I'm
are we
doing
doing?
good. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm on top of the world.
Give us your
fantastic
breakdown.
football.
Give us your breakdown, Dan. Give us it straight. What do you think? What happened?
Well, first of all, we have to give props to Kulusevski. That guy played phenomenally.
You're damn right.
What a performance from him. I was here in my room just screaming at the top of my lungs, give me a ginger from Sweden. And
The neighbours
No,
loving
but
that. Like, what the hell is that kid going on about? He really likes the country Sweden and ginger people.
no, but it's really nice to see that. Not that Son and Kane. It's nice to see Son and Kane not performing well, but it's nice to see even though our two best players didn't have the best games, our team still was able to come out with the result, and it was a very comfortable win as well.
Yeah.
I keep telling everybody about James Ward-Prowse. Nobody likes to listen to me. They keep calling him this free kick merchant. Listen, guys, he is not a free kick merchant. I wish Tottenham would go in to buy him.
Yeah, same. He was one of my top picks as well.
Yeah, me too. I really wanted James Ward-Prowse at Spurs.
Yeah, people call me the James Ward-Prowse guy, but listen, I wear that badge with pride. But Spurs, we played very well today. Everybody played well. Like Emerson Royale, saying that he played well, like that words coming out of your mouth in the same sentence, it feels weird. But he actually played very well today. And he played
credit where it's due. He did, yeah.
Yeah, there were some crosses that were played. I was like, what? Is that Emerson Royale playing a decent cross? And it was just something where I was just completely shocked. But also our back line was fantastic as well, I think. We defended well. It was just that one goal that we conceded was foolish. But other than that, it was a solid defensive performance as well. I wish that Son and Kane would be more clinical. That's the only bit of criticism I could give the team for this game.
Do you think it was that, or do you think it was a case of because Kane in pre-season was just red hot, he was on fire. Son's touch looked a little bit off, but do you think it was a case of like because Son was doing some really nice diagonal dummy runs, and that opened like that big gap for passes to cut them in half. So there was a lot of nice off the ball work, but they just didn't seem to like get as many chances or take their chances or be kind of. What do you think that was down to? Because like they had decent pre-seasons.
I honestly have no idea. It's something that's probably maybe it's just gonna take some time for them to adjust into the team. I'm not 100% sure, honestly. Kane, he usually scores. Like when he has that space that we saw him have today, he usually scores from there. And there was some ball. I think Sonny had a worse performance than Kane.
Yeah.
Even though he got the assist and all, I think Sonny, like, there was some chances where you really, really expect Sonny to score from there. Like there was the one in the first half where he dribbled past like 3 defenders and he had an open goal and he skied it to the south stand.
Yeah.
So there was a few moments where you're like, that doesn't look like Sonny. And
would you say they played bad, or that they just didn't play like their incredible good? You know, the levels that we're used to from them.
Yeah, I think it's that they didn't play the levels that we're used to from them. But I at the end of the day, I think that they weren't like if that's Kulusevski that misses those chances, you don't really get too worried about it. But since it's Son and Kane and they've got this huge reputation of Tottenham's carrier, it's a big like not worrier, but it's very strange to see like Tottenham play well and Son and Kane don't. Usually it's the other way around.
Is that a good thing though? Do you think that's a good thing?
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic thing because once they get back to their levels that we know they can be, our team will be firing.
Yeah, what was your reaction when we conceded after 12 minutes? Were you still confident at that point? Like, oh, we still got this, or were you thinking maybe the preseason optimism was a bit premature?
No, at the back of my mind, I was like, yeah, it's like I forgot the time, but it was very early on in the match. So we're going to have a lot of time to bring it back. But, like, my reaction as well, I was pretty angry with the foolishness at the back line. This preseason, we've been very poor defensively. Yeah. And just to see those issues continue on to the season, it was starting to worry me a little bit. But once, I think it was Ben Davies, or no, it was Sessegnon. Sessegnon got the first goal. I started to calm down a lot.
Yeah.
What's your, with the performances today of the back line and the wing backs, there's been a lot of talk about maybe they're not good enough for what we need right now. Did it change any of your opinions what you saw today?
I thought they played well. Who in particular? Because I thought Sessegnon, there was some parts
people say Emerson's not good enough. We need to get rid of him. People say we need to upgrade on Dyer and Davis and these kind of players.
I think if we get the option to improve them, 100%, now I would improve them. But I don't think it's a complete necessity. I think more of because we've got Jed Spence. I would love to see him get a few minutes. I don't think Conte completely confident with him, but once he starts getting a few minutes and Conte sees what he's all about, I think maybe he'll become that starting right wing back. But in terms of left wing back, we've already got Perisic. I'm not sure. We're getting linked to the Destiny guy, which I think is a decent option. but I don't know if it's a complete necessity to sign another right wing back.
Yeah.
Maybe a center back would be more important. I honestly think that one of the most important positions that you need to start looking at will be a goalkeeper, because Hugo Lloris is starting to worry me. Today he didn't have too much errors, but throughout the preseason and throughout the end of last season, he was making a lot of errors. That's a position we should start looking at. But in terms of right now, I'm not sure the right wing back is a huge issue that we need to start fixing at the moment.
Interesting. Who was your man of the match then? Who impressed you the most?
It has to be Kulusevski. There's not. He had to be. Kulusevski was just on a different level today. He's so good. Like, we finally found the right winger that's able to match the levels of Son and Kane.
Yeah.
And the thing about him is he's so unpredictable to defend, because he can literally cut in and shoot, and he could also go down the wing and cross the ball. So he's one of those players that you literally hate to defend. And I'm literally so ecstatic for this season. He's such a great player, and I'm so excited that we have him. And by the way, I just want to say this one thing. Bentancur, I'm not sure what it is with this guy, but when he's in the final third, I don't know why, but he can literally have the whole goal to himself, and you'll always look for a pass.
Yeah, I know.
Don't know what he's starting to
wants
really
that
frustrate
assist.
me.
He like, it's a weird thing. It's like he wants that assist. He doesn't. He isn't like known for his shooting, or he's like not really.
He doesn't
the guy.
have a bad shot.
He doesn't
That's
have a
the
bad
thing.
shot.
That's
Yeah,
the
but I
thing.
think
he
he
has
just
all confidence in himself.
Yeah, I think he gets loads of pride for being that link player. You know, like, but today, like, genuinely take him out, and I don't think we looked like the same team. Like, he was involved in almost everything that happened, winning the ball back, winning the ball, and then turning and then getting like every move starting off. Like, he was my second best player.
I hear you and all that. Like, it's just a thing where
I hear
the
you,
back
but
of
you're
no, like the back of the pitch, like before the final third, he's a phenomenal player. As soon as he steps into the final third, he loses his head. I don't know what it is, but he never goes, like, he could be straight on. I remember the Norwich game. Yeah, we scored and all, but he should be going for that shot. He should, if Kulusevski misses
the assist that he gave
after
to
he had that
Cooley,
open goal. I
think that's a nice thing. But I do know what you're saying. What you're saying is that, and I kind of agree that it's amazing to have a player like him, and it's amazing to have Basuma, and I think Basuma could actually become what I'm about to say. But I still think you needed that, like, in the window, that player who's just who will pick up the ball and like what Perisic is. If you give Perisic area around the box, he'll shoot. Like, he's a goal scorer, you know. So, like, a midfielder who's a goal scorer who wants to get the ball hitting the back of the net, and Basuma is kind of like that if he gets used in that way, you know.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. I think we kind of probably did need an attacking mid who just is like lethal in the last third, you know?
Yeah.
All right. Dan, great to see you as always, my friend. Good to speak to you. And we'll speak to you very, very soon.
Take care, Dan.
We're top
Nice
of the
one, Dan.
league. Come on,
Top of the league. A few quotes here from Conte. He's been talking on Ryan Sessegnon after the game, and he says, "I'm really pleased with Sessegnon because Sessegnon first of all was working really well with him, especially on the physical aspect, because in the past this player had many injuries. After 1 month, 2 months, and again injury and muscle problems, he is working well, and we are giving him stability in the physical aspects. It's very important we sign a player like Perisic because he can give the way to try and learn something from Ivan. We are talking about a very important player and a top player. Sometimes it's good to bring a player in your team who is a bit overage, but at the same time a good player with experience who can improve the young players in your squad. I'm really pleased because today he played a good game. Emerson also played a good game, and we have to continue in this way. If you remember, 3 or 4 minutes before, there was a cross and we were really upset with him because he had to attack it, but then we celebrated his goal 5 minutes later before he wasn't in the right place, and to see the opposite was good. He has to continue to show that quality. Nice.
I always find it interesting what he says about Perisic. Like, he obviously clearly rates him as like a world-beaten player, but, you know, like, and maybe obviously it was a language thing, but like, he's an old player, but it's like, you know, I think Perisic wants to hear being described as an old player, you know.
Well, at 33, it's inevitable, isn't it? You're always going to be. But I think that I think he's absolutely right. Session's also talking about how much he can learn off Perisic in his interview after the game, and I think the way he did attack that ball with the header at the back post maybe is an indication of that.
Do you think that
really
sounds like he would use Perisic at every opportunity and Session to watch and learn off him?
Yeah, I think Perisic is going to be our number one left wing back this season for sure. Once he gets fully fit, I've got no. You
don't sign a 33-year-old who's at his level and then don't use him. Doesn't make any sense. No matter how good your.
But Sessegnon for sure is going to make it difficult to. Session's looking to make it difficult to keep him out. The Conte on the type of new signings that we've made. So the characteristics were to play intense football, and this type of modern football. You need quality, but also strength, good energy, and stamina because this league is very difficult and totally different to other leagues. So. That's what they've based the signings on, and you can see that, can't you, with Basuma and Richarlison, powerful players, Spence as well. Strong, powerful, good dribbler. So it's interesting to hear him say that because that's clearly what they've been going for. All right, next up, we're going to bring on, I think he's got the wrong name there, Marcelo.
Marcelo is definitely not Dan Tietche. There he is.
Oh, he's got no name now there. Marcelo, how are we doing, mate? The disrespect to not have a name. I think you're on mute, mate.
The disrespect to be muted. There you go. All is right in the world.
One sec.
Y'all hear me now?
There we go.
There you go.
Come on.
Let's go. Like Spurs, bro. It doesn't matter how you start. It's how you finish. And this interview is going to be legendary. I'm telling you, bro. Kulu,
right.
Sexy. We have the best front three in Europe. I'm saying it right now. We have the best front three in the Premier League. We had two of our best players have an off day and we won 4-1. You know what I mean? You want to talk about depth, you want to talk about performance? That's impressive. You know, Liverpool today, they looked off it. You know what I mean? I want to see how Chelsea play today because we play them next week. You know, that's going to be a tough game. That's going to be a game I think that's going to really test how good our squad is. Yes. But today was a very good day. And, you know, by the end of the last season, I just wanted, all I wanted was a team to be proud of. And that's a performance to be proud of. You know what I mean? We didn't start, well, the first 12 minutes was rough, but everybody, you saw the lads, they kind of looked at each other like, all right, let's do this, and we just destroyed them. It was easy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think it was so important as well after going 1-0 down so early that we didn't let our heads drop and that we reacted to it. And that could have easily happened with all the optimism that's happened, over pre-season and stuff. But how impressive was that reaction to going 1-0 down?
Very impressive. And I think what was even more impressive was when we went 2-1 up, we didn't stop, bro. You know what I mean? We didn't let the pressure. We saw that Southampton was there for the taking. We saw how open they were. We saw how weak their defense was, and we just kept exploiting it. I mean, Sessegnon, I thought he looked very good. I mean, Kulu was my man of the match, but Sessegnon, he looked superb, man. He was cutting in that left side, and I think what you guys said with Perisic coming in, he can learn a lot of things. He's a young kid. Don't count Sessi out. He's a young kid, and it sounds like he's been around forever, but he's got a really bright future in my opinion.
Yeah,
I agree. In terms of the display overall, obviously we played a very similar lineup to what we played at the back end of last season. So from what you saw today, do you see like big improvements from that kind of side, or was it more of the same with the team that finished fairly strongly last season?
I saw big improvements in terms of fitness. I mean, you can just see it on the guys. I mean, Eric Dyer was moving as fast as I ever seen him move in my entire life. You know what I mean? I thought he took his Timberland boots off, man. You know what I mean? The guy was running. You see that header, that sliding header? When have you ever seen Eric Dyer do a sliding header, bro? You know what I mean? That takes speed, fitness, and focus. And you can only drill that and by having a good manager. And you can see the preseason, it's definitely having its effects. You can definitely see the boys are much faster. They're sharper. They're a lot more. They're keeping the possession a lot better. They're moving like they're. I don't know. It's just everything is so connected. You know what I mean? We just look like a good, solid team, and we got a structure, and that's the most important thing for a team to have is structure and balance. And I'm excited for this season, man. It's been a long time.
Marcelo, with with the preseason being pretty good and like Kane looking like a monster, looking like in shape, what happened with the two of them today? Was it necessarily a bad thing, or was it just that they weren't like it just wasn't?
Off day.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, listen, we say they had an off day, but if you really think about it, they still had a good performance. I thought, like you said, Sonny, off the ball, fantastic. You know, him and the link-up plays between Sessegnon. I thought, you know, Kane, it's hard to always get those, you know, through balls, through passes.
Yeah.
But you can still see he was looking for it. He was still sharp on it. He was still getting the ball, you know, going deep. So it was a good performance. But for their standard, you know, it wasn't their best. So it's a bit harsh on them, but you know that's what you want to see. You know, if your two best players are not playing the best, you want that, you know, Kulu to come in and say, all right, lads, you know, you have an off day, I'll take it from here. You know what I mean? And
Yeah. How many times in the past have like if they've had like an off day and it's like we have nothing, like we're just shut down, we've got nothing.
We're screwed. You know, like it was basically that. It was like it was the Son and Kane show, and if they were having an off day, we were screwed and we were gonna lose. You know what I mean? Most of the time. But I thought the team, you know, they worked together very well, and I thought a lot of the guys, you know, they showed real like character and leadership, because it does take character and leadership to stand up and perform when your two best players aren't performing.
Yeah. Tell me a bit more about Kulusevski, because he had an unbelievable start to his first career last season when he signed him in January. There was always going to be question marks whether it was a big purple patch, or is he going to be able to sustain that over a long term, because he was just getting goals and assists for fun. What a start to the season for him. It wasn't just his goal and assist, which were both unbelievable, but it also his all-round game, wasn't it? Dribbling ability, taking people on, the confidence he had, his first touches. I mean, what a player we have in our hands. Tell me about
his
him.
link-up play. I mean, the link-up play between him and Emerson, bro. I thought it was Cafu and Rivaldo there, bro. I was like, what's going on here, man? You know what I mean? It was brilliant. You know, I mean, Kulu, he's just fantastic. You know, it's in the name. It's Kulu sexy, bro, because his ball playing ability, it's beautiful to watch. It really is beautiful to watch, and I don't think you're that far off saying that he could contend for the Golden Boot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you look at his goals and assists, it was insane. He was far exceeding his, you know, his goal ratio, you know, and game ratio. You know, it was insane. The guy he's a fantastic addition.
Would you call him world class? Would you call him world class?
It's a little bit early. I want to see how he plays against, you know, Chelsea and everything. I don't want to get too ahead of myself.
If
but
he
I
has
will
this
say
season, though, if he continues like this, you think he's world class?
World class. If he continues on what he's doing, I don't think you can deny that. I mean, Bukayo Saka, man? You know what I mean? This guy is just fantastic, man. You know what I mean? And he doesn't let his team down when it matters. That's why Kulu is better, bro. Because he doesn't let his team down when it matters, bro. You know what I mean? You gotta love the guy, and I think he was the missing piece of our front three. And I think with him there, with Mane leaving and, you know, Firmino leaving, I think we have easily the best front three in the Premier League. You cannot tell me otherwise. You know what I mean? We got the best striker, we got the best left winger, and, you know, I mean, Kulu, if he continues what he's doing, we can argue that he's the best right winger in the league.
Yeah.
Wow, bit high praise, but obviously after his performance today, no surprise there. What does it mean to you to start the season this way, with all the optimism that was coming into the season?
Were you one of those like over the score optimists, or where did you stand?
Come on, man. You know me. I was already saying it. I already say it. We could challenge for the league. I've already said it, bro. You know what I mean? I go into every season expecting it, like, you know, thinking we can challenge for the league. I'm the most delusional fan you'll ever meet in your life, bro. You know what I mean? So I'm beyond optimistic. I think we can definitely do something this season. And, you know, why not? We can't believe that. You know, why can't we believe that, bro? You know, we got one of the best front three. We gotten great signings. We got one of the best manager in the world. You know, will we win the league? I don't know.
Do you think we need another? Do you say realistically? Do we need one or two more to actually overtake Liverpool? And
100%. Yeah, you know, I think we could have definitely upgraded on the
Marcelo's tone dropped there.
You know, we could use some improvements. You know what I mean? That first 12 minutes, you know, it was worrying, you know, and if it was a Chelsea or a team that's better, you know, it could have been a little bit worse, you know, against those teams. You got to be on it for 90 minutes, man. And I know it's also the first game, so, you know, you got to give the guys a little bit of a slack, you know, they're getting warmed up. You know, preseason and the Premier League is completely different. I know Arsenal fans are saying that, oh, we could challenge for the league, after the preseason. Bro, I remember when we beat Bayern Munich, Real Madrid to win the Audi Cup. Preseason don't matter, bro. It's about that first game in the Premier League, and it can be hard to adjust to it, but I think we can have a great season. We have a great team, boys. We do. We really do. I'm excited. And also, we got Champions League football. So remember that, bro. We got that to also focus on. You know what I mean? Unlike those boys down the road, they look up to us. You know what I mean?
Damn right.
100%.
Damn right. Marcelo,
Come on,
always a
you
pleasure, my
Spurs.
friend. Thanks for calling in.
What a
Lovely
ledge.
seeing you. What an absolute legend. And we'll see you
Come
very
on.
soon. Come on.
Have a good one, boys. Come on.
Nice one,
Take care,
Marcelo.
dude.
A few super chats to read out. We've got Catman Jess says, "Big up to your grandpa for the backwards hat. What a legend!" I think he was wearing a
backwards hat.
Yeah, in the vlog. I think so. In a few of the videos, I don't know if
Bro.
I've seen them yet. I have to take a look at that, but apparently so.
DJ
Spursy,
Grandpa, MC Grandpa.
you should do your rap thing. You and my
Get on
grandpa.
track.
Spursy McSpursin says, "This is what we needed to start the season. Come on, you Spurs." Diego Valenzuela upgraded to gold. Big up to you, Diego. Welcome to the Spurs memory. Always believe in your soul. Erica Green says, "I love how Romero has such freedom in the system," and he did get a lot of the ball today, didn't he?
Yeah, he
Romero?
did.
He was seeing a lot of it when coming forward.
Yeah, he made like every duel he was in. It was like Tyson versus like an like a gymnast, like a featherweight gymnast.
Yeah, I know. Literally, they
like an
could've-
anorexic prepubescent teenager versus Tyson in his prime. That was Romero today, 100%.
Brilliant. And
Erica Green, strong name as well.
very strong name, and she became a member. So big up to Erica.
The strong names do it.
Rich Frith says, "Greetings from Savannah, gents. Kulu, Royale, and
yeah.
Cess were amazing today." Oh, it's a goal. Is it offside?
It's offside.
There's an offside flag. Chelsea took the lead. Raheem Sterling. He's saying no, but he's saying it definitely wasn't offside. Let's have a look at this. Was he offside? Raheem Sterling, Reece James. Yeah,
offside.
Yeah, he's offside. It looks offside to me.
Rich
and-
Frith, all the way from Savannah.
Yeah,
Nice.
love that. Thank you. And they were, I agree. Kulu Royale and Cess were amazing today. I completely agree with you. And a quick quote from Conte on. He was asked why he didn't start any of the new signings today. He says, "For me, I'm not surprised because I think I used common sense. In this moment, we are starting the new season, and the old players reached a big achievement last season to get a place in the Champions League. My message to them was clear. I trust a lot in the old players, and in this moment, they are more reliable than the new players because they need to work with us and implement their football knowledge. With the old players, I am a step forward than the new players, and I think it was right after the game and the final sense. I'm really happy, though, because we have new signings who will go into our process, and they will learn fast to improve at the same time. They have to know that they have to fight and give me the possibility to rotate. Right now, we are playing once a week, but in September, it will be 3 games a week, and it's important to rotate without dropping the quality, and the club agreed with me."
100%.
I think that's exactly what
There's your clarity if you needed it. Like,
exactly. All the people say, "Oh, I'm not good enough to start our season with new signings because they're not good enough."
Yeah.
It's bollocks. That's not why at all. And Kulusevski, what's he been saying? Kulusevski says, "I love how the team is playing because we create a lot of chances." Here from Kulusevski. What a man, what a footballer. And from one king to another, let's bring on Wes the King. Wes, how are we doing, mate? Good to see you, mate. Thanks for coming on. How you
What's
doing?
up, guys?
You all right?
I'm good. I'm
Whoa.
good. I'm good. Yeah.
Brilliant first game of the season, wasn't it? Against Southampton. We really took
Yeah.
them to the sword. What was your take on the game?
We played excellent. I really like how, and as much as me to say this, Real played good. Real played good today. He was really attacking, especially that first half. He was really attacking that right line. He was really doing what he needed to do on that side. And he was really putting some good crosses too as well. Very proud of how he was playing. Very proud of Cess. Cess was really doing it today as well. the fact that he got that header, he ran the line that the right time, like Conte's been pretty much getting him to in his head to really do, and he did. Kulusevski, that man is going to be world class. I don't care what anybody says. That man is going to be world class. That man has the ability. The fact he got an assist and then got a goal for himself, nothing but class, bro. And the fact that, and if you look at this game, the fact that both of our best players did not play well, but we still won 4-1. It's insane. That shows you where we're at.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
One sec. Oh,
One sec. We seem to have like a
so it seems to have an audio issue. One
someone's,
second.
In the background.
Oh, I think it should be right. Can you give us a test, Wes? Say hello.
Yeah. You hear me?
Yeah, all good, all good. Yeah, what did you make out of the fact that today that we, all our goals came from, except for maybe Kulusevski, you had Session with a goal, Emerson 2 assists, that, was maybe coming from sources which you don't expect as much. Is that maybe proving that we're getting less reliant on Kane and Son, or is it too early to say that just yet?
I don't think it's too early to say, because I think that's what us as fans kind of wanted. I think that's what Conte wants as well. I don't think he wants just Son and Kane to be the main focal points, and that's the only way we can win games. Everybody knows it.
Those defend, right?
Yeah. It's too easy. It's too obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too obvious, and I think Conte, he wants it to be spread around a little bit more. Of course, Kane and Son, they're gonna get. They're going to be up there for Golden Boot, attacking, wise, they're going to be up there regardless with their goals and assists. But, it's important that other players are getting at least 5, maybe 6, maybe 8 from one player.
Yeah,
I think Kulusevski is going to probably be the third one to probably hit double digits. I think the rest of them can hit that around that 5 to 6 mark if we really start on. And he's completely spot on, because sooner or later we're going to be playing Champions League, we're going to be playing FA Cup, we're going to be playing League Cup. We got games for them to play, for them to start in. There's no real worry. It's smart to play the old guard first, because they understand what he wants already.
Yeah. System is key. The system is the number one thing. You can't just bring people in if they haven't. I mean, Perisic, I think, is one player who could probably adapt quicker than anyone else. So I can imagine him starting kind of soonish, but I think that's also major respect, and it's the confidence that certain players needed as well. Like, you can't have Davis have the season that he has at the end of that season, and then all of a sudden you just get Longley in and that's it. You know what I mean? So I have massive respect for him doing that.
Mark, take it game by game. We just got to take it game by game at this point. To me, I think, we're talking about ambitious wise what we can do this season. I believe, yes, we can challenge for a league. I believe we can get at least second place if we don't even go for the league and say it's out of reach. But I do believe we can hit that second or third place mark, regardless of what the fans are saying, what the media is trying to put on us. Now all of a sudden Arsenal are in the running to somehow be a dark horse for it. I'm like, if anybody's a dark horse to really win the league, it's really us. We have made our summer, we made all the correct decisions when it comes to who we brought in and who we're about to sell off soon. We're the dark horse, really, if you be honest with you. Liverpool, they're not going to be the same. I think that showed against Fulham. They're not going to have enough, even though the wingers,
Would you say what you were saying about that we could even potentially for sure get second? Would you say that's just if the window closes now, you wouldn't bring anyone else in, or do you think it needs maybe 1 or 2 more, or do you think it's fine how it is now?
I think 1 more for me, and that would be another center back. I know everybody wants an attacking midfielder where there's no creativity. I don't know about that. When you saw Basuma going there, if he had at least 20 minutes, today he only had 8 minutes to play because we were shot pretty well. Yeah, he still got a shot off, and I feel like he's the type to be probably a little bit more creative than people think. I think Bentancur, he has clearly the ability to be creative. He was actually this game, he's actually trying a whole lot more long balls, a whole lot more through ball, those type of passes to create some type of offense, and it was pretty much working. Even though sometimes we'll lose possession, or maybe the defenders will pretty much get to it. he was still, you see, he's starting to do it more and more. I think Conte is
Yeah.
probably expecting that from Bentancur, and probably soon Højbjerg as well. I think Højbjerg needs to do that a little bit more. But he's, Højbjerg is doing what he's supposed to do at the end of the day. But I think we have players right now that can pretty much turn into that or have that ability. I don't think we need to be spending another 50 mil on a Cam, especially right now when the asking price right now is just too high. I think we would rather spend on another center back.
Yeah, wise. I agree.
So who was your standout player then today, Wes? Man of the match.
Oh, you already know it's that man Kulusevski. It's that man Kulusevski. That man, the gingerhead himself, that man right there is going to be a beast. That's all I can say.
Ginger God. That's what I call him.
Yeah,
Ginger God.
Oh, penalty.
No. Is it?
Yeah, penalty to
Oh,
Chelsea.
goddamn.
Penalty to Chelsea.
Oh,
Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, Wes. But there is going to be a Ben Chilwell who's been brought down in the box, and the referee has pointed to the spot. Wes, after seeing what you saw today, are you more confident than ever that we can have as good a season as people were thinking we can have?
Oh yeah, we're winning a trophy. That to me, that's like for afterthought in my mind right now. I think as long as we stay focused, and you already know Conte is going to be enforcing that. We got to take it game by game, regardless of where we are in tournament-wise, any of our competitions. We just got to take it game by game and just worry about winning that specific game and then going to the next one after the fact. As long as we do that, we're going to have opportunity to win. I say at least 2 trophies. Either that's the Premier League and the second the FA, or that's a FA and League Cup, which is I more respect a FA and League Cup more than anything else. But if we can somehow still challenge for the league and maybe at least do decently in the Champions League, I don't think Champions League going, even though we have to see that competition. You never really know how it all plans out. Hopefully we have some lucky breaks and we're able to go far through in that competition. But I think main side, I think we can go for a League Cup. FA Cup is for me, but I do think we can challenge for the league as long as we do what we're supposed to do against the lower tier teams. Because if you look at last season, we were the best team we were the best side to get the most results out of the top 4 teams last season. We were the only one to get results against Liverpool, only one to get results out of Manchester City. Only problem we had was Chelsea. If we can beat Chelsea next week and show we can beat them at their home, we're in it. And then as long as we clean up the bottom feeder teams that somehow were getting draws from us or somehow would beat us by 3-1, like I think one of the teams did to us last year.
Yeah, Brighton and
we're pretty much would have been challenging. Yeah, we would have been challenging if you really look at it in that aspect. So if we just, and I'm sure Conte doesn't see that and probably doesn't hammer that to the team. If we clean up that, we're in this.
Yeah.
All right. That's 100%. A great way to end great note to end the call on, Wes. Always a pleasure speaking to you, my man.
Lovely to speak to you, Wes.
Nice one, mate.
Yep.
And
Thank
I'll
you
see
guys.
you very soon. Nice one, Wes. Good to see you, mate.
Yep. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Chelsea have taken the lead at Goodison Park. Jorginho has slotted the penalty, not doing his usual technique and the hop skip, just slotting it home to the left-hand side. And Chelsea, 8 minutes into stoppage time of the first half, have scored, and it's really there was 8 minutes added on, and they scored in the 8th minute.
It looked like a competitive game as well. It looked like Everton actually had a lot of corners as well. So
yeah, they were in it, but Chelsea getting the lead there.
Chelsea not
but
that
Everton, I'm not
convincing,
looking.
though.
I don't see any much from Everton, to be honest, in terms of where are they really going to score from. They're playing Damare Gray up front. It's slim pickings.
Yeah.
Next up, first of all, let's read out this super chat from the Joracle, and he says 3 to 4 games more like this, and teams will have to mark our wing play closer. And guess who will get more time and space then? That's right, Kane and
100%.
Son.
Exactly
And I think
what
he's
we're
absolutely
saying.
spot on there.
Yeah.
It is half-time at Goodison Park. It is 1-0. Let's go over to Amir. Let's get Amir on. Amir, mate, lovely to see you again. Hope you're doing well. I think you're on mute.
Amateur hour.
Sorry, not the only one.
Sorry, lads.
Great to see you, mate. What a way to start the season. 4-1 at home to Southampton. A litter of brilliant performances around the 11 as well. How did you see how the game went?
Absolutely fantastically for us in terms of, getting goals from other places that aren't Song and Kane. Fantastic today. Kulu, Cess finishing his dinner, incredible. Loved it. The only drawback for me was that VAR decision with the pen, because I wanted Kane to get off the mark for this season and bang in that pen for 5-1. That for me was the only kind of negative. I mean, you could say their goal was a negative as well, but it was kind of a blessing in disguise. It spurred us on to just go and smash them. So
yeah. I mean, it was a great reaction there, wasn't it, to going 1-0 down after 12 minutes, and it would have been easy maybe for us to have our heads down and maybe go into half time 1-0 down, but we made sure that we reacted as quickly as possible, and going into half time 2-1 up was massive, wasn't it, for the result?
Oh, it was huge. It was huge, and they were very deflated. We could have even got a third there before the end of half time. They were very deflated, and then the lads just demolished them in the second half. I thought the second half performance was really, really top notch, and seeing the new guys come on, get a few minutes as well. Bissouma looked good. I'm really excited for this season, guys.
What did you think of Perisic when he came on?
Oh, another level. Yeah. I saw him in the Roma match as well. This guy,
he was good in that.
He's 33. He's running like he's 20. It's incredible. It's incredible, honestly. Incredible.
Yeah, I completely agree, and it's and he hasn't even integrated into the squad yet. I mean, we had no new signings on the pitch today, yet we still put in a performance like that. What does that tell you about the strength of our squad right now?
It's showing you that this is the strongest squad we've ever had going into a Premier League season, in my eyes. The strength in depth that we have now, you're not looking at kids coming off the bench, and you're not looking at players that are, you're not sure about him. It's top-notch players coming on. I mean, Richie, 60 million, not even on the bench. So
he was suspended. He was suspended today.
Yeah, that's right, with the flare incident.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I completely agree. And also, not only were they not new signings to play, but Kane and Son didn't even score, or we scored 4 goals. So are we maybe starting to see a less reliance on Kane and Son now? Do you reckon?
100%. So I actually, I on the pump up show, I called it with the 4-1 scoreline. I just thought it would be Kane and Son to get the goals. In hindsight, I'm thinking that it's incredible that the wing backs got in there and did fantastically for us. I think that Conte, with this preseason, he's got them understanding exactly the formation that he wants to play, where he wants the players to be. And using as much as possible those wing backs in an attacking force, and we saw it. We saw Davies, going forward, bringing in balls to Royale on the other end, and Cess had a fantastic game. Very close second to man of the match with Kulu for me.
Oh, so Kulu was your man of the match?
Oh, by far. I think earlier I called him a generational talent, and I just want to say that again because I really think this kid is a generational talent. He's just phenomenal.
Is he world class yet to you? Do you think he's world class?
No, you can't call him world class just yet. You can't, we don't want to jump overboard. He has to prove it over the length of time to get to that level of world class. But is he on the cusp? Definitely. I mean, I believe it was David that asked me, can you see him out doing what he did when he came in January? And I think he's going to smash what he did last season.
Yeah, he's kind of started on fire, right? Like, it's like the first few minutes, like every time he was on the ball, it was like, I was saying to you, it was like, Jesus,
he was looking sharp. Yeah, he was looking really
is
sharp.
On one today, How impressive was that? But how impressive were you with, like, through the centre of play, like, so the centre of midfield? Did you think Bentancur and Højbjerg did the job well? Do you think there was any frailty behind them, or what do you think about that? How they played the game?
Apart from Højbjerg, maybe nodding off for the first goal. I think they did very well. I think Bentancur, I think they suit each other. Their different styles of play kind of suit each other, you know. Obviously the experience they got together last season has really put them in good stead for this season. So I think they did fantastically. I think in terms of like our defense, they didn't create that much apart from the goal. You know, it was only James Ward-Prowse that really looked dangerous. I don't think they had too much, you know, going forward. So
yeah, I agree with that. I think we are looking very good. But Amir, lovely to see you, my friend. Lovely to chat to you as always, bro.
Real pleasure as always, lads.
Great seeing you last week in Israel. Absolute pleasure meeting you again and spending time with you. And hopefully see you throughout the season, mate.
Hopefully I'll be making it over to England at some point and be able to catch a few games.
Definitely looking forward to it, mate. Looking forward. Amir,
next one, Amir.
Have a good one.
Take it easy, guys. Enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Oh, you
Bye, guys.
will. Nice one. All right, that was Amir. Let's move on, and we've got Ben Davis, THFC, in the house. And everyone thought when the Slungley signing was made, this might be the end, but we can't get rid of him that easily, can we?
Never. Absolutely never.
Looks so smug. It's like you're not getting rid of.
You got a new contract, man. I've got like 3 years ahead of me at least of just propaganda I can spread. There's absolutely nothing that can stop me now.
I bet your heart stopped when that shot came in and it was saved by Bazunu. You're like, oh my god, he's right.
Oh, you have 25. No idea. I was watching it in the LA Spurs pub. Like, he got the ball. I just screamed, shoot, like the whole bar just like went quiet. I went, shoot, like he goes bottom right and Bazunu saves. I've never, my heart has never stopped like that before. I really thought I was going to pass out.
That's classic. And I can imagine him being in that pub and like go like, shoot, and everyone just being, bro, like relax, it's Ben Davis. Oh shit,
Davis. Yeah, right. And I started talking shit too. I was like, yeah, he can shoot. I told you, he can shoot. Like I was talking it up.
Class.
Yeah, but he had a great performance today in general, didn't he, Ben Davis? Really, he was really supporting the attack and
he was flawless. He didn't make a single pip.
Yeah,
exactly. Not a single. What else did we expect?
So what do you think about people saying we always need like an upgrade for Davis? That's the one position we need. Everyone will point to Davis, but he keeps being consistent. He keeps putting in performances, doesn't he?
I think if Davis was a new signing doing what he's doing, no one would say anything. I think it's because he's been here for a while.
I can just imagine when Longley came on, Ariane just being like, all right, fuck this, I'm out here. What the fuck is going on?
I mean, it was towards the end of the game, so it was fine. Like 4-1, we're just settling down.
Yeah,
I actually like Longley, weirdly enough. But
yeah, no, actually, oh, you're saying that you could be moving on after when Ben's.
No, you can never cheat on Benny. You can never.
I can never cheat on David. No, you know what, I was gonna say actually, Longley, I feel like could be a good center back, but that's a whole different conversation. I think he could be a good central center back though.
I heard you were at Davis's wedding over the summer.
No, he didn't invite me.
No, that can't be true. If only he would have known.
I can't believe it. I was heartbroken.
He's just
I was
like
absolutely
the wife. You're taking Davis away from me.
Well, was it not you or was it Ben that like retweeted that? Like, hope you're doing well, Ben Davis FC. I saw one of you.
I think Ben did that.
Was it Ben? I think it was Ben too.
Tell me about the game in general. Ariane, it was a fantastic performance, wasn't it? Although it did start off with a bit of a hiccup, but what a response to an early setback.
I think the fact that it started with a hiccup actually shows more character than anything, because like the fact that we were 1-0 down, and I remember exactly, this is exactly what happened last season. We went 1-0 down, Ward-Prowse, absolute beauty, again from the same kind of setup, and we could not break him down. Honestly, it was absolutely... Yeah. It was so annoying, but this time we just straight away, the second they scored, we started playing football. We started playing some serious football, and it was only one winner from there. Like the second we scored that second goal, you knew what was happening. It was on the wall, right?
Yeah, And we had a very similar team this time round to obviously we had the same team till we ended the season with, but obviously a very, very strong performance. From what you saw today, was it more of the same of how we ended the season, or did you see improvements on how
I
you
saw a
played
lot
last
of
season?
I think we're much better. I don't even think we're just a little bit better. I think we're much better.
All right,
It was a
name them.
more coherent performance.
Yeah. How were we?
It was much more
improved?
coherent performance. A lot. I think on the wingbacks department, we were just way better. Like last season, when the ball went to the wingbacks, I'm like, fuck, here we go. Someone's gonna fuck up a cross, misplace a pass, right? Every single time.
Who wants a
Now,
drink? I'm going to the bar.
now every time I see like Sessegnon, like Emerson's still a little bit iffy, but with Sessegnon, I trust him fully. Right, like when he scored, I went mad. I was like, and especially at the beginning of the second half, when I thought he scored a second, I was about to go crazy. But I really trust Sessegnon. I think we're doing a lot better. I think Perisic being there has actually genuinely taught him a whole lot. So he's definitely improved so much, and it's another outlet we have, which can also take the burden off players like Son and Kane, like you mentioned. Like Kane, he's always our playmaker. Today he was kind of shit, and we still scored 4 goals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we created a whole lot. It was brilliant. Emerson, people are saying he played very well. I don't think he played amazing. I think he did play all right. I think he was linking up a lot. I think defensively he was pretty sound. He got 2 assists, right?
Yeah.
So I think on the wingback department, especially, and also the fitness department, we had improved leaps and bounds. It was much better. You can see the Conte system begin to form. You can really see the Antonio Conte like identity in this Tottenham team. I really think it's shaping like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I completely agree. Tom, talk to you about Kulusevski. Everyone's been waxing lyrical about him today after another scintillating performance.
How is names like Louis Diaz? How do we compare?
Name
Saka.
Saka. No, don't even.
Who
Don't
are
come
these
to me
players?
with these
I'm
names.
like, what? Kulusevski
How
is.
highly do you rate him? Now, tell me how good is he actually?
I adore him. Look, let me say, I would be devastated. Like, look, okay, Kane and Son, if they get injured, I would be really upset. If Kulusevski gets injured, I would be inconsolable. I genuinely would have to lock myself in my room for weeks just trying to cope with the fact that I won't be able to see Kulusevski ball for like 2 or like I don't care if he's one knock for one game. That guy is like he's like almost at Davies level. I'm being dead serious. He is that.
Oh my God.
That's how high he is from me, right? We got Kane and Son on the team, right? Yeah, but he's almost Davies level, guys. Like
That's
it's
serious praise. That's serious praise.
right? That's serious.
As a baller though, he is like the best baller, as in his feet, like his control. Like he has the best baller in the team. You know what I mean? Like his close control.
Like image of like you killed the man but not the idea, and it's like a half face of Iron Robin and now Kulusevski. It's like he's there. Oh my God, that's such a perfect way to describe him. The guy is genuinely an Iron Robin regen. Once it's on that left foot, the only thing you can do is pray. The only thing you can do is pray. It's You see, he slots it into that corner from like a super tight angle, crosses it in, and scored that first goal. Like, he's
his left foot's reminiscent of a Bale, like the way he can manipulate the ball and like curve it
and
into
just
the back
get it
post.
into the corner every time. Yeah, do you think because when he first joined for the first few weeks he was scoring, or he scored? I think he scored 5 goals last season from January, but we never really saw that curler finish into the far corner until the Norwich game. Yeah, and now we've got 2 games in a row. He's got hit absolute pearlers. Do you reckon we're going to see a lot more of that now this season?
Oh yeah, I think he's getting a little bit in his bag right now. He's starting to get comfortable. He's starting to get with the system. Now he knows he can play around a little bit, right? Yeah. Because he first, you can see that like his quote saying "I love to suffer" is, you can see how true that is, because the first bit the first thing he did when he came in the first bit, he was just getting with the team, working, pressing. He was a very mechanical player. And then towards the end, you started seeing a little bit more of a creative side of Kulusevski. Once started betting in, once started getting familiar with the players, you really saw the brilliance of Kulusevski with that left foot, especially like against Leicester, like against Norwich, and now today he's starting to become like his own kind of player. He's not really attached to he is attached to the Tottenham team, but he's also beginning to form his own identity, and you can see just how brilliant of a player he is. He's not like a Luis Diaz, who the first thing he did when he came in was start fucking doing touches like a Rabona when the ball's coming up top. Like, what the fuck's the point of that? You're supposed to play with a team that's a mechanical fucking team like Liverpool crossing in and everything. But no, instead he's doing things. He gets like 4 goals a season. He's getting all the hype. But now Kulusevski's there doing the work quietly. And now finally, when he's getting the numbers already, he's starting to add a little bit of that creativity, of unpredictability, and that's what makes him such a good young talent. It's excellent. Honestly, he's such a good star we have on our hands.
It was the frustrating thing with Kulusevski in Serie A is that he would get in, have a little run, be incredible, but then the ball would come back, or who's their amazing Italian striker?
Not Morata.
No. No.
For Juventus.
For Juventus. His dad used to be amazing.
Oh, Chiesa.
Chiesa, yeah. Like when Chiesa would come in, so they were always going to prioritize.
And they never really found the best position for him as well. So I think we've got the best position.
Yeah, but he never really got like a run. And now he's had a run, like when he came in, and then he's like, he was so important last season. But now it's kind of like there is other players who can come in and can do his job, but it's like they can't do that job. They can't do like that performance today. Do you know what I mean? Like, Richarlison is great, and he can hassle players, and he's got other areas of his game that isn't Kulu. But no one in this team, I don't think, can do what Kulu did today. Like, that incredible touch turn, just completely bury players dead. Like Perisic can take on players and bury them dead, for sure, but the way that Kulu does it, it's incredible skills. Like, it's just beautiful to watch. It's like watching a street baller who's just having complete fun. It's what we... Right. It's what we would have loved to have seen from Tanguy and Ndombele on, like, repeat. Yeah. But you only start every now and then. But Kulu does it, and it's got effect to it. Because after it, it's like he's going to skin a player, and then he's going to put someone in, or he's going to put it on he's going to cross, it's going to be a goal, or it's going to be a back post. He was not
going to do a Rabona cross in the box.
Yeah, he's not going to wait. He's not going to do anything that's not practical. It's all like, it's skills, but for practicality, that's for me why I think he's going to become world class at the end of the season.
He's so effective. He's unbelievable. Like, his efficiency as a player mixed in with just how unpredictable he can be is so rare. You never get one or the other. Like Salah, for example, brilliant player, like world class, one of the best players in the world. But he's not an unpredictable. He's not a skillful player. He's just really good at what he does, right? Yeah. Kulusevski is very good at what he does, but he also has that little bit of, you never know what he can do. Like, his dribbling ability, his close control. The ball sometimes genuinely looks glued to his feet. It's just a mesmerizing thing to watch it.
Yeah, 100%. And do you think that's like? Do you think we rest on our laurels now, or do you think like? Do you think it needs players to like take us over the line of like really competing for the title?
I personally do think it's a little. I think we're one season too early for the title. Personally, I mean, we could do it, but I think I wouldn't like bet on it until like next season. We have 2 Conte windows, like kind of like Inter Milan, right? They got really close to Conte's first season, but then the second one, they really knew what they were doing. They knew what they were about. I think that might be the case with us as well. But I think if we really wanted to push for it, we need a number 10. I think a number 10 for games like that. Liverpool was it away last season, or was it at home? I forget. Liverpool, the 2-2 draw, where we had 3-5-2, 3 midfielders, and they couldn't do anything. And so if we knew how to finish, we could have whacked Liverpool like Aston Villa did in 7-2. We absolutely dominated them that game. We outplayed the hell out of them. The 3-5-2 is a system that if we play it in the right games, the right way, we could absolutely cook the top teams. And we need a proper number 10 for that to help us with that like unpredictability, tactical flexibility. I think Zaniolo is the name that everyone's talking about right now. I wouldn't mind him. I think the good thing about him is that he can play in the 3-4-3 system, like on the right if we need him. So he doesn't like end up spending the whole season on the bench for like instead of like the 5 games to play 3-5-2. So I think he's a good pick. But I'm not here to talk about players specifically. I'm talking about we need a number 10 who
and you don't think
knows what they're doing.
Basuma could become something like that, or you don't think we can do it with what we got? Like Harry Kane maybe play deeper and have Son and Kulusevski playing up front, or just have Basuma go and play up there. Or, you think it definitely?
We could, right? We could. Like I even think Kulusevski could be actually pretty good number 10. But I think like, ideally you'd want people who specialize in a certain position,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
you can't win a league title with makeshifts. So
Yeah.
I think the best case scenario is we do bring in someone specifically who knows how to play in that kind of in the profile Conte wants us to play, right? So I think ideally that's it. Do I think we need one absolutely to succeed this season? No, I really think we've done excellent business already, and I think so if the window closed today, I wouldn't be unhappy. But if we do get in a couple more, I think that would do nothing but help us.
Yeah.
All right, Ariane, always great to chat to you, my friend.
Always a
Good
good
to
laugh.
see you as
you
always.
guys.
Yeah, nice one, mate.
All right.
And looking forward to a big season ahead, mate.
As always, of course, this season's going to be absolutely amazing. We're going to win a trophy, and Arsenal are not going to get top 4, and we are. And come on, you Spurs!
Come on, you Spurs. Come on, speak it into existence. That's what I like.
What an
Absolutely
absolute
love
ledge.
Ariane. The absolute passion at the end. Who we got next? We got
Oh, a couple of young whippersnappers. Looks
yeah,
like.
looks like they're riding
Couple
all
of
over the
youngsters.
place. Should we get them on? Let's get Rez and Bob Spur on. How we doing, guys? Lovely to see you.
Come on. Come on,
Bob.
you Spurs.
This is down
couple
to
of
you, Bob. You
twins.
finally got a
Couple
score
of
right.
sexy twins there.
I finally got my 4-1, man.
What a day. What a day, Bob. You said your predictions for the first 5 games of the season were 4-1, 4-1, 4-1. I said I should put a tenner on that. And now I'm starting to regret not doing it. Yeah, I'm starting to regret it. How was it in the stadium, Till? We haven't spoken to anyone who was at the game. Tell me about the atmosphere and stuff like that at the ground.
It started off quite raucous and loud, and then after they scored, and then we went 2-1 up, it quietened down quite a bit, and towards the end it was, I mean, you know, it was a pleasant atmosphere. People were sort of, you know, it was nice to be there, but it wasn't Arsenal. Yeah, it wasn't the North London derby. Which, I mean, listen, I don't want to take away from the fact that we won 4-1. You know, it sounds like I'm belly aching for nothing. But I was a little bit disappointed that didn't happen. I would have hoped that we would have learned that lesson last season and actually made more noise. But it wasn't to be. Hopefully,
did the club do anything special for the first game of the season, like flags or anything, or no, nothing going on?
No,
there.
nothing.
Wasn't in the budget.
No, was in the.
Well, I
spending
think
it all on play.
they did have Paul COYS on, but I don't know whether or not that was a special thing or if he's back permanently.
No, he's been back since last season, I believe.
Okay, right,
So,
good,
yeah.
good, because
Yeah,
getting
good.
rid of it was one of the most stupid things the club has ever done, ever. You know, and that's saying a lot, right? But so it's good to have him back. But yeah, no, nothing special done. Oh no, one thing was special. Something that I've never witnessed before was that they introduced our signings at the first game of the season. I think that might be because we actually had some this year. So that was nice.
Another weird thing was seeing 4 subs come on.
Yes,
At the same time.
yes, that's right. Yeah,
That was crazy.
In a Premier League game,
That
yeah,
was
that was
a
one.
bit
But look, tell about the positives then. It was a brilliant performance. Were you a bit nervous when we would go 1-0 down? Were you fearing the worst, or were you always confident we were going to get back into it?
Always in control, Sim. Always looked in control.
Yeah.
1-0 down. I think half of the stadium expected it, you know, typical Spurs and all that.
Yeah.
But the way we were controlling the game right from the off, we improved second half. But I think Ward-Prowse was clearly getting these spaces in and around the pockets, and you know, we had to close it down. That seemed to be the main tactic. But now we were comfortable, man. It was never in doubt that we were gonna, especially since last season and seeing the mentality that Conte's brought to the team. I don't think it was ever in doubt. And once we got the first, it was only a matter of time before we went on and won the game. So, no, it was kind of expected. I think the feeling was like peak Poch at White Hart Lane. We expected it. We expected it.
Yeah. I mean,
High praise.
it was. I wasn't nervous because it was only 12 minutes in, if nothing else. But it was a case of it really was. Before the game, I thought that we were going to batter them. I said as much, and that's eventually what happened. It would have been nice if we hadn't conceded, but that happens. It's football. You know, you're never going to go through an entire season without conceding a goal. It was Southampton's only weapon was get Ward-Prowse into a little pocket of space so he can. We just dropped something.
All right.
So he can cross it in. That's what they did, and it worked once. But other than that, they didn't really pose much of a threat at all. They did have they had one ball over the top that could have led to something, but they only had 2 shots on target, one of which they scored. So it just shows, and I think they only had 10 shots in total. So 40% of possession. The stats back it up. The stats just basically show that Spurs were dominant. Spurs were on top, and certainly towards the end, I saw the players just ease off the pedal and conserve.
I was going to say that. Do you think that, like we were saying, like around about 60, that they were playing incredibly well, but they had other gears to go? It seemed like they could easily go out to other gears.
Yeah. They could have done, and do you know what? But if they have become, or if the squad or the playing staff as a whole have become smart enough to be able to say, you know what, we're 4-1 up. Let's just go through the rest of the game. That's good game management for me. Rather than keep going full on, risking injury just to pump up the scoreline. This is one of the things that Conte brings. He's a master for that reason, because he understands the game, he understands tactics, he understands tactics, which is what you employ during a game, and he understands strategy, which is what you employ during a season. And so I think that was good stuff to see.
And we say that, but we still could have scored.
Yeah,
we seem to have taken a foot off the pedal, but we're creating chances. It was a very, very, very dominant performance
in the second half. The first half, we could have dominated. The first half, we didn't dominate because it wasn't quite gelling. It was slightly disjointed, and so it wasn't free flowing. It wasn't smooth.
Still
even though we went 2-1 up, but still comfortable.
Yeah. Rez, last season you were on record saying you'd rather play with 10 men than have Emerson back in the lineup. He got 2 assists today, and he ended the season very well as well. What do you make out of his performance?
You've got to give credit where credit is due. He had a good game today. That you can't deny it. I'm not gonna pretend that he didn't have a good game. But for me, it's one game. If he can do that consistently for, say, 6 to 10 games, then I will start to think that maybe he has a place in the Spurs squad. But he certainly did himself no disfavors today in terms of that by the performance that he put in. He was disciplined. He got those 2 assists. He was contributing. His passing was still slightly wayward a couple of occasions. But look, if he's going to improve, and Conte thinks he can improve, and Conte thinks he can improve him and turn him into the right wing back that we need, who am I to say nay?
But would you still start either Dockett if he was fit, or would you give Spence a go over Emerson?
Right now, if all 3 of them were fit, 100% match fit, my first choice would be Doherty, my second choice would be Spence, my third choice would be Emerson. But that's only because of what I've seen previously
over a greater amount of time.
Yeah. So let's say, for instance, Doherty is still not match fit for 5 or 6 games. Spence, we don't see play. Emerson plays for 5 or 6 games and plays the way that he played today in all 5 or 6 of those games, then he will go up the calendar. And I say, well, look, if he's done well, then he deserves to keep his place. So it's a case of seeing what he can do over the next few games.
And we're always waxing lyrical about Kane and Son on this channel, but today I believe it's Kulusevski's day, isn't it? What a performance that was today. I mean, what was it like in the stadium watching him play like that?
Sex.
Yeah. Better.
Rez was definitely getting his feel on for sure.
I think what we've got is obviously we all know Conte has made an improvement. He's improved the squad. He's improved the mentality. So Kulusevski's performance today shouldn't surprise anyone. I don't think it surprised anyone. It's just great to see him continue. But I think, whereas last season he was looking over his shoulder and saw the likes of a Bergwijn and Moore on the bench, is a Richarlison there. There's Richarlison there. Even Bentancur today, I thought, was really good, because he's looking at the bench and we're seeing a Basuma there. So I think that leads to, Conte's improvement, the players' mentality, the players, the way they've excelled and improved, and then now also the added fact that they are looking at the bench and thinking, this geezer's after my place. I need to do better. And that can only mean great for Spurs. So Kulusevski, wouldn't be a surprise that he thought he had to go the extra mile today, purely and simply because he has got the likes of Richarlison. And regardless of what we think about Lucas, he seems to be in Conte's plans this season. So it's good, and it should be the case. It should be the case.
Yeah, I think so.
Rez, Bob, lovely to see you guys. Glad you enjoyed the game. Thanks for calling in on your drive back. Are you going to the curry club now? Are you going to have a curry? What's your plan?
No, a bit mild racism there, but no.
No, it's not. You know that wasn't what I meant, Bob. You bastard.
Not really, no. But thanks for asking.
You stitched me right up there, Bob. You stitched me right up there.
Big up, mate. Come on, you Spurs.
Oh, God. Cheers, guys. Every week they have something called the curry club. They go for a curry after every game. There was no assumptions made by that question. I know they go for a curry. They have a WhatsApp group called the Curry Club. All right, I just want to make it absolutely clear that there was nothing to be assumed there. All right. Thanks a lot for that, Bob. Next up we have Andy. Let's get Andy on. Andy, I think you're on mute, mate.
Well,
oh, no, you're not. You're not. No, you're all good. You're all good. That was on our end. Andy, good to see you, my friend. How are you doing?
Very good. Dele Alli just got on the pitch against Chelsea.
Yes.
So
Let's hope he can do something.
Score a hat trick.
We can all pray. I don't think he scored 3 goals in his last 2 years, let alone just in one game. But Andy, look, it was a brilliant performance today to start the season, wasn't it? What kind of statement do you think that was to start the season in that manner?
Well, the last time I spoke to you guys, it was at the Burnley game, and everybody thought that the world had ended and we're slipping back into nightmares. And all I can say is 6 months makes a big difference, doesn't it, really? It's a very different situation that we have. And, I think Levy has to be given a little bit of a pat on the back. I know I might be swearing there, but he's suddenly realized what it takes to actually have a successful club after 20-something years. And we might have years of this if we do it right? And with what Conte has been saying over the last week, I mean, I've never heard him talk about staying at a club, and he's talking about staying at a club, and he's talking about managers that have been with clubs for 7 years, and I'm going to take from that he's considering that, right? I mean, he was talking about Pep and Klopp about, well, they've been there 7 years. We've got, we need some time. What might the future be if we've got Conte for 7 years and operating the way we are today?
I mean, that could be it could be serious, and it's true, because at the beginning of his tenure, he was always very reluctant to talk about the future, wasn't he? He was always always playing it down. But now, all of a sudden, kind of looks like that's where his head's at, which is very, very encouraging. In terms of Levy, I have to agree, he definitely deserves credit, and for at least getting Conte and getting the money for this summer. I've always said that people always ask me. Ever since we signed Conte stuff, you still Levy out, you still this, you still that, you still want Eneka and stuff. And I've always said, as long as the club are making the right decisions, I'm not going to complain. I can't demand we should get an elite manager and spend some money, and then when they do that, say, well, you didn't do it 20 years ago, or for the last 20 years. Sorry, I can't. That's a bit hypocritical to still complain that they're not doing it when they are doing it. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm delighted with them and I think they're the best chairman in the world, but I'm going to say, I'm not going to start saying I want Ineos and Levy out when they're doing the things I've been calling for them to do.
I just think, if you think about the business side of Tottenham, we've got to be the most or close to the most well-run club from a business standpoint. Right?
Yeah, we're starting to see that now,
yeah.
There's money coming in. I like to think that maybe we'll end up mirroring a bit of the Liverpool model, which isn't a bad model, right? They buy well, they have a strong team, they're constantly looking to be better. Better never stops, right? They don't blow up the team and rebuild, although they have done in the past, but not in the last few years. And it's always about getting better. And with the revenue that Levy's been able to build from a business standpoint, we should. And if his word is true, and he does actually pile that revenue back into the squad, now that we've invested and we've actually got a good squad, hopefully we don't have to buy 7 or 8 players, good players, ever again. Maybe we just top it up with 2 or 3 world-class players every season, and we're challenging. And
that's how it should be, yeah.
You're right.
That's how it should be.
And I believe we're kind of one world-class right wing back and one world-class centre back away from being right up there.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I mean, go on.
I worry if Dyer or Romero gets a season-ending injury right now. That's a concern to me. And the great teams, although Liverpool, when they lost Van Dijk, their whole season went to shit, didn't it? So we've got to get. I think we've got to get a world-class centre back, not just a good one, like a top one, and we've got to get a Perisic level right wing back, and we don't need an 10. We don't need an attacking midfielder. That's a change of system, and that today we just controlled the edges of the field. We're popping balls in. Bentancur, I've got to say, I think Bentancur changed our season last year, and his game today, Højbjerg and Bentancur against 3 midfielders, and they dominated the 3 of them.
Yeah.
And Bentancur was popping. How many times did he take the ball in the penalty area calmly, in our penalty area, calmly
under pressure?
Under pressure. How many times did he pick out passes, or how many times did he get a timely tackle? He was the general in the middle of the field, and he's been 100%. That since March. We haven't. When was the last time we had that? That would have been Dembele, right?
Yeah.
So
I agree.
And it's a very people don't really see that a lot of the time, because it's a lot of hard work, and then I think people always look at the top. The attack and third, and they see the passing and the movement around that, but the ball's got to be won. The ball's got to be taken care of when you're under attack, and he does it. He finds these little pockets. There was a moment where they did this nice little rondo move when they had 2 players on them, and he was so calm and relaxed, and they got out of it, and then we made an attack out of it. And so that's the thing. It's that's what I used to think the Spurs DNA should have always been, was under pressure, breaking away, and then nice little touches internally, little triangles, and then boom, you're away. That for me is
Brains, don't you feel that there's a lot more players, calm heads on the field that whereas a year and a half ago we had a bunch of hot crazy heads on the field, under pressure they'd lose it, they'd do a stupid pass. How many games did we used to lose with something absolutely stupid happened? We weren't beaten, we beat ourselves because of some stupidity. I kind of feel like we don't have that in us right now. I think we have a lot of calm heads. There's a lot of the great teams they talk about, and I think Conte talked about it. You have there's blue heads and red heads, right? Blue heads are you're calm, but you're passionate, right? So you're not going to get fiery, you're not going to get crazy, you're not going to get fall apart under pressure.
And then there's Granit Xhaka.
Right, exactly. But,
Rob Holding,
exactly.
Yeah, no, but you know what that comes from though, from a football coaching perspective, comes from putting them under constant drills, of like pressure. So you four or you three have to keep the ball off these 6, and you've got to keep the ball off them, and the 6 have to push you hard. So doing like really hard drills like that allows the players to like feel it, but then it still takes Conte to get the mentality. So what you can see, and Bob was quite right on that as well, was definitely a mentality shift.
Right.
We've always kind of had players in the squad here and there that can do what we did today, that can pass the ball really well. But it's when the mentality isn't there, you panic, your breathing gets irregulated, your foot doesn't work right, your passes are too short. You know, now there seem to be every single pass was like, you know, smooth and, you know, sharp little angles.
And there's 2 players on the field now with Perisic and Bentancur that have won things, and they know what they've done.
Yeah, that helps it as
before.
well.
And there's a guy on the side of the field that has won things.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, they know what it takes to be there, and they've been in every difficult situation there is. And, you know, I think there was some talk about needing a number 10. I think Ariane was talking about that. I couldn't disagree with him.
Ariane was on one today.
Right. And I was like, because if we get into a situation like our system is what it is, and that's his, you know, and I don't think we should change it because it's been a winning system.
Yeah.
If we need to have 2 up front and have a number 10, you know, we can just have Harry just drop back, and then we can just start pinging passes, and then we can change formation on the fly, and that's really difficult for teams to deal with when we can change formations on the fly without substitutions, without team changes and so forth. When we can actually just, you know, say, okay, hey, we're gonna change to this formation, and the guys just do it. That's going to put the opposition in a little bit of a, you know, betwixt themselves, right? They're going to be, hang on a second, what's suddenly happening here?
Yeah.
And that's what we can do with that. But the reality is, if we get one more, I don't think we've got the right wing backs that we need. I've got to say, I was pretty happy with Emerson. I'm, you know, pretty happy, you know, with how they, you know, how he was getting up and down. And I loved the passion that he had, and he was throwing himself into everything. Yeah. But he's a backup at bit. Like in a championship team, he's a backup player. He's a number 3, probably 3 on the list.
Yeah.
We need a Perisic level right wing back to go with Perisic. And then we've got an amazing offensive team, right? Then we have those generals in the midfield. I think we got 4 awesome guys that are just what we need in the midfield with Basuma, Bentancur, Højbjerg, and Skippy. You know, I don't think we need much more in there, but we do need. I wish we got. I'm looking at the Chelsea game right now. I wish we had Koulibaly. Is it Koulibaly? Yeah.
Koulibaly.
Why didn't, like, what do you guys know, or Sim? Do you know why? Did we go after him, or was it just he? Just
I don't believe we did. No, I don't believe we ever put in a bid or anything.
Could you imagine? Could you just imagine put him on the team?
That would be it would be incredible.
Yeah. That's what I've always said. It's like it's a world-beating defender away from this could actually challenge. You know, because like you can change things in Liverpool's squad, but then it's like, but take out Van Dijk, and they genuinely then become like, they will be struggling for a top 4 now. Yeah. If you take it, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. You get like, you're totally right. If Dyer or Romero are injured, you got Sanchez, and that's fine because he can do a job. But if either of them are out for a whole season,
we can't rely on them for half the season. And I think, you know, if we have no injuries, anything could happen.
Which never happens. Like basically, you're going to get loads of injuries.
Right. And we hope to play 60+ games, right?
Yeah.
But I am really excited about Sessegnon. I think that's the best game I've seen him play.
I agree.
I'm sure.
And talk to me about Kulusevski and how good he was today, because he was on another level, wasn't he?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know. You got to think Juventus is going, what did we do? What did we do?
What did we do? Yeah.
I mean, he was the man of the match. I didn't even bring him up because everybody's talking so much about him. But, he's amazing. I mean, he really does. I don't think it's crazy to say that we might have the best attacking 3 in Europe.
Yeah, and you're quite clearly a kind of like level-headed fan. You're not like those but so I kind of agree with that as well. I don't think that's a hard
Right. I mean, if you try to legitimately think about the other front threes or whatever, who's better? Like, I mean,
yeah, I mean,
how
it's
can-
different. Unless you can say Messi, Neymar, Mbappe.
Even
no,
they don't.
they're all old. Well, at least one
Yeah.
of them.
Even when Bobby Firmino, Sadio Mane, and Salah were what they were, we just had Gareth Bale come in, and we had the best three, the highest scoring between those
Highest
three.
scoring three, yeah.
Now you've got these three, and if these three together get firing, it's like, wow,
It's
Scary.
something
It's
else.
amazing. And one thing I don't know if you guys noticed, that what I really loved seeing that I haven't seen for a very long time is how many times our centre backs were up, were going forward, we're joining the attack.
Pushing,
I mean, almost every attack, one of them were up there, and all three of them at different times were up there.
Yeah.
And that shows some real confidence, right? I mean, back
100%.
a year ago, you wouldn't see a centre, under Mourinho. I don't even know if he'd allow it, but
yeah.
But there was,
you wouldn't even see a winger up there under Mourinho, let alone something.
But it was really exciting to see. Dyer scored. We had Davis had a shot on goal, and he was up there multiple times. Romero was up there, and Romero has a history of turning up and scoring some goals. And and then finally, I've got a whole list of things that I was going to talk about. But
I like lists as well. I like your list style.
Finally, what I really love, and I think you guys have spoken about it, is we won 4-1. We dominated. We looked like we could have scored 6 more goals, right? Yeah. And our worst 2 players on the field, in my opinion, was Son and Kane. And they weren't that bad. They weren't bad, but they were the worst. So, when Sim and Ben are doing their ratings, I could see Son and Kane getting 6s. And the rest of the team was 7, 8s, and 9s.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
you're probably about that.
Kind of
That's you fucking told. You better read.
I'll be watching tomorrow. If you think about it, that's exciting because that those guys are going to fire. And what is this team going to be like when Son and Kane fire and the rest of the teams keep their standard? All I want the team to do is keep their standard. If Son and Kane fire, and I hope it's next week. I mean, shit, we could tear good teams apart.
I think this result, being a big win and nobody talking about Son and Kane, will annoy them as professionals. I think they'll be like, all right, we got to step, now we got to score. You know what I mean? Like, if you were,
they're going to be watching Ben and Sim's ratings, and when they rate, when they see Sim rate him as a 6.
That's it.
Yeah, all of a sudden they're going to have to step up.
Andy, it was great. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was a brilliant start to the season. Andy, thank you so much for calling in, mate. Great call as always.
You're welcome.
Thanks for calling in. Hope to see you very, very soon.
Yes,
nice one, Andy.
Take care.
Nice one. Good to see you, mate. All right, that was Andy. That was a really good call.
Level-headed.
Very much so.
I'm going to run take a pee while you introduce me.
All right, let's get Zach on the call.
All right, matey. Happy first day.
Zach, good to see you, mate. How are we doing? Yeah, look, brilliant first day of the season, wasn't it? Couldn't have gone too much better, did it? 4-1 with a brilliant performance. And
I thought we did really good. I thought we pretty much dominated the game, really. There was that little slip up at the beginning, but I feel like we proper dominated. I thought most of our players stepped up. It was just really good.
Yeah, what were you looking for today before the game? And what were you looking out for to see for indications of where we're heading?
Well,
did you see any of them?
Well, I think last season we was probably struggling with our wing backs, and I thought today both wing backs stepped up. I felt the fitness of the team was much better. I felt like it was just nice to see goals come from different areas than obviously just Son and Kane.
Yeah, and Son and Kane weren't even involved that much, were they?
In the game. Had a pretty forgetful game, really, to be honest.
Yeah, I completely agree. But in terms of the wing backs, they've been much maligned for a long time. But after today's performance, has that swayed any of your opinions, or what's your opinion on them?
Well, I thought I always had faith that Sessegnon would do all right, and I thought that was probably the best game I've ever seen him. He kind of looked he just kind of looked really decent. But then Royale, I thought he had a really good game as well. I noticed last season there was quite a lot of incidents where they just wouldn't pass to him, so he looked like he wasn't a safe option. And today he was getting the ball and he got a couple of assists, like a completely different player.
Yeah, I completely agree. In terms of Kulusevski, everyone's been talking about him today. Do you think he's finally won the? Do you think he's finally won the Kulusevski-Diaz debate, or is there still some work to be done there?
Well, I think for me, it was definitely the man of the match. But I think there's I think we've got probably 3 now, maybe 4 players that are always kind of man of the match, kind of like Son, Kane, Romero, and now Kulusevski is kind of. Do you know what I mean? He's kind of getting there where it's like you expect that kind of performance all the time, where you mark them at probably a different standard to the rest of the team. So it's kind of nice to see.
Yeah, how highly do you rate him right now, Kulusevski? You know, he's since he's come in, he's pretty much been a goal and an assist machine so far. Everyone was wondering if he could keep it up. But if he does keep it up, how highly do you rate him?
I think just the way his technique with the ball, like his ball, the way he just dribbles, the way he stops, the way he glides past people. I think he's our most Brazilian player. I mean, Swedish, you know what I mean? Like, he's just, I don't know, he's just different level, isn't he? And just, just the way he scored that goal as well, like. It's just one of my friends come in and I was just watching the game and I was like, oh, watch this. And then he just scored that wonder goal with his left. I was like, yeah, you made me look really cool there. It's just good time.
Brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. In terms of what you saw today, where would you prioritise in the transfer market from now to the end of the season, end of the window?
For me, what I think we need, I think we need another centre-back who can play centre and right. And then maybe potentially, I don't know whether we need so much an attacking midfielder, but just another player, another maybe midfielder who could just do 3D passes. Like we only really have Kane who can pass 3D. It'd be nice to have someone who can stink the ball over the top and then it land where it needs to land.
Like a Nicola Barella or a Milinkovic-Savic or someone like that with that kind of vision that can just pass through anyone, you know?
Yeah, just someone who can just pass over the top. Because we've got Kane, and when he drops back, and I'm excited to see when Kane drops back and we have Richarlison up front, I think that'll be a nice little combination. So, but it's just really exciting times, isn't it? It's like the best start to the season we've had for about 3 seasons, like optimism-wise. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's like real hope there. It just feels like something good's happening, you know?
Yeah, it's just like it's just really good. And it's just a good time to be a Spurs fan. It's nice to be able to argue with all, do you know what I mean, all the other fans, and they're not. Do you know what I mean? Know that you can say it confidently.
Yeah, and they're actually shitting themselves.
yeah, it's just good times, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And also, we've had this win today with none of the new signings as well. So once we get them integrated, who knows how good this side could be.
Well, I thought it was weird. We made 5 changes where, we just made 5 changes where 5 good players came on. It was actually I had to rub my eyes a couple of times. You know, last season I was looking at the bench and I was like, ooh, I think we'll have another 5 more minutes, which is what we've got. But it was just nice, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was absolutely brilliant, wasn't it? So what do you think we can achieve this season?
I think... Wait, 1 second, sorry.
It's all right.
Mom, I'm busy.
No, what was I going to say? No, I think for us, I think 3rd is looking... It should be us, really. I think 3rd is the least I think we should expect from this season. I think, obviously, trophies and stuff, but you never know what's going to happen when it comes to trophy. But I think 3rd in the league, potentially 2nd, would be a really good season for us, I think.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and it was nice that Liverpool obviously dropped 2 points. Do you know what I mean? That was kind of...
Yeah, we're on their ass.
Exactly. Head start on them already.
Yeah, it's too early to start thinking that, but you know when they're only dropping, do you know what I mean, 10 points a season, it's nice that they're dropping some early, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, get all the oppositions to get all the grass to get dry, I think. Just dry all the grass and all the grounds up and down the country, and I'm sure Klopp will struggle. Zach, it's great to chat to you, mate. Good to see you.
Yeah, no worries, man. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. See you over the season. Nice one, Zach. All right, that was Zach. And now we have the one, the only, something inside so strong. Oh, no. It's Barry. How are we doing, Barry? Barry in the car. How are we doing?
Barry in the car. Hopefully you can hear me all right. It's not too bad.
Yeah, it's all right. Just about.
Just about. No, mate, I'm absolutely buzzing. I'm on the way back from the stadium. It was rocking. It was hot. We were hot. Got a great win. What more can we ask for? You know?
Yeah, it was a fantastic performance, wasn't it? What did you see from that performance that really impressed you?
For me, it was the wing backs. So Sessegnon, Royale, they were good today, right? And they were probably better than good. So it was funny because we were sat there talking about the defence. Obviously, Romero was probably at fault for the first goal with his header.
Oh, you thought Romero was?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. He didn't have his header wasn't strong enough.
Oh, right, okay. But did you think that Emerson probably shouldn't have slid in?
Yeah, I think he slid in, then he was kind of like rolling around on the floor to try and block the ball coming in, but then there was no one really at the edge of the area for Ward-Prowse to score. But I think, look, up until that point, Romero was probably the worst out of the five in the back. But
wow,
we were laughing about it because I said to Ben and a few people around us, I said, look, if that was Emerson or if that was Dyer that had kind of got that header and it glanced on, then everyone was going to throw belters at him. But because it was Romero, everyone kind of let him off a little bit.
Yeah.
But he grew into the game.
Oh yeah, he had a stormer after that.
But for me, Kulusevski is absolutely world class. I don't care what people say. The Juve reject. He's not this. He's not that. He was man of the match today. His touch, his vision.
It's something else. Yeah.
It's just incredible. Absolutely incredible. And when we came out of that second half, we just, I thought, to be fair, I thought Emerson was offside for the own goal, and Cess looked more offside for his goal. So
I was surprised that goal stood because I actually genuinely also thought
which goal
he was offside, like Emerson Royale's goal. I thought it was kind of when he moved through.
Yeah. No, which goal? No, it was the one.
Oh no, it wasn't.
No, it was
Kulusevski's goal. Yeah,
I thought that one.
I thought Emerson
offside.
came from. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I haven't seen the lines being drawn or anything like that.
The own goal one where I don't know what the centre back was doing. He had enough time to just take a touch and just kind of.
Dude, he could have rolled down on the ground and like headed it away with his head on the ground. I can't believe he knocked that in.
Yeah. No. But look, the wing backs were great, and how good was it that we could bring on Longley, we could bring on Perisic, we could bring on Doherty, we could bring on Basuma, and also I was quite pleased with this. Obviously, the new rule that the Premier League's brought in, that they're kind of letting those little niggly tackles go and trying to let the games flow. So there was a couple of times when obviously everyone was like, "Whoa, he hasn't blown up. The ref hasn't blown up." So yeah, it was. Look, it was a great win. Look, 1 down, 37 to go. I'm not getting carried away just yet, but I have booked the hotel for Istanbul. So yeah, let's see. Look, Conte's come out and said it's one game. You're not winning anything after one game, but it's a statement. I mean, Southampton. I can see Southampton's really struggling. They were really, really poor. We could have, we could have scored maybe 8, 9 goals without, we could have had a couple of penalties. But yeah, it was. Look, it wasn't a great performance. We weren't worried when we went 1-0 down, and it was just a pleasure to be there with everyone and just to see the stadium rocking. The stadium was loud. There were a few tourists there today. In the south stand, which you kind of expected. It's August, people are on holiday. But look, it sends a statement, right? Arsenal had their so-called statement where apparently they played like prime Barcelona for 45 minutes or whatever. Whatever. I was just hearing the nonsense before on the radio. But look, we didn't really get out of second or third gear, and Kane and Son. Kane, if you'd have said at the start of the game you're going to win 4-1, Kane and Son are bound to be on that score sheet. They were kind of anonymous, and that's what's great because the goals were coming from all over the pitch. So long may it continue, and I can't wait for next week because by the sounds of it, Chelsea aren't looking great at Everton. Okay, they're leading.
Yeah, but I'm watching it now, and they're lucky to be ahead, to be honest.
But it's just a great time. And look, while we haven't got 2 games a week, we need to take advantage of everything, and if we can get that advantage now, then yeah, it's gonna be great, because special things can happen, right? But let's just see. Like I said last season, one game at a time took us to fourth. But if we end August with 12 points or more, we need to start believing, because we're gonna have that block where, a block of 5 of August. We've then got the block in September, then October, then we've got the World Cup. If we're there or thereabouts before that World Cup, we're going to have to start talking about believing. That's for certain. There's something inside so strong with these boys, and I don't know. I'm not going to get deluded. Some of the guys started singing "We Are Top of the League," and I just turned around to them. I said, "Boys, we're not Arsenal. We don't do that.
Don't embarrass yourself."
But we are top of the league. So let's
So let's fucking sing.
We are top of the league.
So I'm not singing it, but I'm just saying we are top of the league. Let's just see where we are at the end of the month, and let's go from there. But yeah,
How many points do you think we got at the end of the month?
Well, I think actually Forest is going to be the one that's going to be difficult, believe it or not. So I reckon I'm going 13. So we only drop points at Forest.
Oh, okay.
And we win the others. So yeah, that's what's gonna happen, boys. So we go to Chelsea. We batter them next week, and yeah, let's see what happens. But one game at a time. We focus on Chelsea now, and let's have it. Let's have six points out of 6, then 9 out of 9, and then let's see. So, but yeah, it's the right start. At least it wasn't a 2-1 win. It wasn't a 1-0 win. We got what we needed to get. It was a dominant performance, and people can say, "Oh, it's only Southampton" or what have you. But hey, you can only beat what's in front of you. So we'll beat Chelsea when they're in front of us next week.
Damn right. Nice one, Barry. Always good to speak to you, mate.
All right, boys.
Good to see you.
Big up, guys.
See you in a bit.
Great work.
Nice one. Cheers a lot.
on, you
Thanks a lot,
Spurs.
Barry.
Cheers, dude.
Come on, you Spurs.
And that was Barry contacting us on a walkie-talkie from the other side of the moon.
Absolutely brilliant. All right, let's get... I can hear some background noise. Who's that? Okay, there you go. Let's get Josh Spurs debates on.
Come on, boys. What's
Come
going
on.
on, boys?
Oh.
Come on.
We're
Let's
eating
go,
well
man.
tonight. No, Josh,
Top
we're
of the
eating
league,
well
mate.
tonight.
Huh?
We're going to eat well tonight.
We're going to eat well tonight, mate. Ignore what the doctor says. Like, forget whatever diet you're on, keto or Atkins or whatever it is. Go and get your samosas in, man. Get your pizzas in, get your KFC in, get everything in, man. Enjoy the night, everyone. What a scoreline, man. What a result.
Yeah, it was absolutely brilliant, wasn't it? It was a great way to
Amazing.
start the season. And
Do you know what? The
yeah, go
funny
on.
thing is, Sim, I was going to say, the only player I think a lot of people aren't talking about right now is Harry Kane. It's like, I don't want to say he's the worst player on the pitch, but he was almost just, do you know what I mean? Like, everyone's talking about Heung-min Son a little. Well, Heung-min Son wasn't great. Sorry, Kulusevski, Ryan Sessegnon, Emerson Royale, Benson Cole. But Harry Kane had a quiet game, if you ask me. I didn't watch the game. I heard you guys talking about it I was listening to the whole way through. You guys barely mentioned Kane. And I think that's a beautiful thing, right? Because he had a quiet day and we battered them 4-1. So I think that tells a story in itself.
Yeah, I think it's a really good thing. I see that as a really good thing. It's like we're not reliant on the Son and Kane show, you know? And it's only going to drive them to play better next game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, we didn't start with any signings as well today. Conte saying after the game that it's because, the old players he has so far are used to the system and he trusts them a bit more just yet, and the new signings have to acclimatise to how he wants to play. Before the game, some fans were unhappy at the prospect of starting the season with no new signings in the lineup. But look, you saw what they could do today, didn't we? And maybe it was nothing to be worried about.
Mate, I think Ryan Sessegnon, for a young man, he's got the pressure of one of the best in his position sitting on the bench. He handled himself well. The guy just went out there and just teared them apart, James Ward-Prowse was probably the only player in the Southampton team. Walker-Peters had an okay-ish game, but Sessegnon was just on fire. And the boys got, it looks like he's got all his kind of fitness issues out the way. Mentally, he's got the Conteism in him running through his veins. And the boy was just on fire. You wouldn't think he's that young, you know. Like he could be at the World Cup the way he's going. If he carries on like this, does Southgate have to look at him and say, do we take him, you know, as an option? And we probably don't want that because we don't want him to go and get, you know.
Yeah, I don't want him to go to the World Cup.
Yeah, we don't want him to get down. But if you look at him in terms of just isolation.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So I can't hear you, Gav, man. I think your microphone might, I don't know if it's my end, but.
Is it?
Is my mic off?
That's
1 2
better,
1 2.
mate. Yeah, that's better, mate.
I didn't say anything important at all.
I thought he was
It could have been off the whole day, to be honest.
Bars there, isn't he? Our very own Spurs Eminem over here. Do you know what I mean?
No, but look, it was we went 1-0 down and we responded really quickly. It's important to have those quick responses, isn't it? And not let the game drift you by in those circumstances. And maybe that's something I've learned from Conte, because it was very important not to let our heads drop after conceding early, wasn't it?
Absolutely, mate. That's been one of our one of our weaknesses. Tottenham, I think we had the worst stat, not last season, the season before under Jose, for losing Leeds.
You can literally say anything now if you're talking about that season.
Yeah. That's the past, man. Forget that. Erase that from your memory. Erase Daniel Levy. Erase, Nuno.
Centre back.
Yeah, everyone just just forget the last 20 years. But no, I mean, we're at the peak of something, special. I think that the squad is strong. Motivation is high. Competition is high. When you raise competition, you always get more out of the players. Sessegnon, Emerson Royale today, both wings. I look at Spurs like a plane that wobbles, where you've got the engine of Son and Romero and Kane, but then you've got the wings that wobble with that turbulence that you think, is it going to be the left or the right? But today the left and the right was just flying, all four motors just going at it. And then you had the silky Rodrigo, Bentancur passing. You had Pierre was pretty strong in there as well. I mean, there's very few players that probably get less than a 7 in your ratings tomorrow. You probably struggle to give anyone less than a 7. You might even have a 9 in there.
I think there's definitely a 1-9.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a 9 or 2. But even the man of the match decision, you're looking at it. I don't know who Sky or BT picked, but you're looking at it and you're kind of sport for choice.
I thought it would have been close between Bentancur and Kulusevski, but I think Kulusevski got it.
Yeah, I imagine Kulusevski did with the goal and the assist. But you look at Sessegnon, Emerson Royale had a decent game. So I just think that was a brilliant start to the season. I don't remember a better start to the season than that in recent years, in terms of all-round performance. And I just think, this team is now becoming sort of almost difficult to pick because of the squad that we've got. So do you now start Perisic against Chelsea with his experience against against better teams, against better players? Or does Conte's got a big decision? Do I just let Sessegnon carry on? Do I carry on with Emerson, who had a shocker against Chelsea more than once last season? Decisions, but they're not bad decisions to have, are they? They're decent decisions. So
yeah, I would start Perisic against Chelsea for sure.
I can hear some background noise, chaps.
I can't hear it.
I think.
Your mic isn't working.
Oh.
Yeah, the mic's playing, but.
Oh, there you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, so I just think.
Yeah, I was saying Perisic. Yeah, I think they should. I think you should start Perisic just in a big game where it requires someone who's just got who's got huge capacity to make something amazing happen, but also experience in big games. I say you start.
The only thing is,
Perisic.
Gav, what does that say to Sessegnon? Is that saying you're not a big game player for me? Is that the message?
What I think it says is that you're incredibly important, and we've got such a long season of 60 games plus, maybe. This is professionalism, is realizing this guy is a World Cup winner. He scored in finals of World Cups, and he's now going to be on our left wing. So it's know your place. You're a great player, but this is maybe his 1 or 2 last seasons. Learn under this guy and be a strong professional. And also, it's a case of I think if we can extend his form by giving him one game on, one game off, or every now and then just letting Session take a rest so that he avoids having any of these injury problems again. Then I think that's wise as well.
I think the only thing is, from the Sessegnon camp, he's probably on fire, right? His phone's going mad tonight. Hopefully he watches YouTube and, you know.
Oh, he's getting laid.
He's in the comments right now. Yeah, I'm sure his missus is going to give him a good time, or the other way around tonight. But, you know, I mean, yeah, exactly. But I think for Sessegnon, it's like, you know what, this is finally the Sessegnon we've all wanted to see. We've had a little journey with him, you know, on and off. And, you know, after a performance like that, me personally, if, you know, we'd all love to be in Conte's place right now, making these decisions. But for me, I carry on with Ryan Sessegnon. But I hear you, Gab. I see where you're coming from with the experience thing. And then if Sessegnon's having a bit of a shocker, you've obviously got the Perisic back pocket. But look, if Perisic starts and he has a good game, you're looking at that left-hand side. And the opposition teams, Wolves, I think it is the next week, they're looking at thinking, whoever plays on that side, we're dead. You know, whoever comes on that side, we're dead. So it's a great place to be, man. So, yeah, I mean, Chelsea. The thing is, guys, we're Spurs fans, right? We get excited, we get trolled, and we don't win finals.
What?
Just a little reminder of reality. But what I would say is, everyone calm down. Tonight, we enjoy. I'm sure Conte will say to the boys, go home. Don't eat pizza. You did that last week. Tonight, go home, have a protein shake, go to bed.
Sex and samosas, and we'll be fine.
Yeah, samosas you're allowed. That's the one thing on the menu you're allowed. Tomorrow morning, I want everyone to chill out. And then obviously, you know what Conte is like. Monday, back to the drawing board. Focus on Chelsea. Focus on, let's be honest, the quality players Chelsea have got. I don't know if Cucurella's been signed or not yet.
He played. Yeah, he played. He nearly got an assist. Yeah, nearly got an assist.
Okay, there you go. So, you know, they're improving, guys. Yeah, Sterling's a handful, you know. So it's going to be a different conversation in 48 hours down at Hotspur Way. And I think the players, one of the things I have to learn this year is if you're going to be spoken about for titles and for, you know, for the biggest prizes, you need to have that mentality and that coolness about you to, you know, kind of off the shoulder. That's Southampton done, average team. The big ones on the weekend, and if we beat Chelsea, it's gonna be riots out there, guys. I think your studio is gonna be shut down, man. I think your Wi-Fi ain't gonna last. You know what I mean? So
it'll be Sai as well coming in. He'll go all the way here just to tear the place up.
Is it Sai? Oh man, Sai, man.
I don't know if it is Sai. I'm saying it probably
palpitations, that man, when I'm watching it, man. Yeah. He's like literally a heart rate going up and down. But you know, whoever's with him, God bless whoever's with him next week. But guys, what a performance, man! And listen, everyone enjoy it. But the big ones next week, chaps. You know what I mean? That's
absolutely right. Absolutely right, Josh. Always great to talk to you, mate. Always good to see you. And looking forward to seeing you very soon. Nice one, mate.
Absolutely, Josh. Have a good one. Take care.
Have a good one. Have a good one, Josh. All right, bye. All right. Is this the last caller? All right. Let's get the next caller on. And first of all, let me just confirm Everton have been beaten by Chelsea 1-0 at Goodison Park. That's a full-time result. There were 10 minutes added on at the end. I'm not 100% sure what I was for, but I think something happened in the crowd.
For Bants.
For Bants, yeah, exactly. Just add 10 minutes. No, try and screw Chelsea over.
Lampard's paid someone.
Are we
going to bring on the most tanned man in North London?
Let's get him on. Is he unrecognisable?
The most beetroot-looking man in North London.
This man needs no introduction or Factor 50. It's been
brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant, guys. No, what a way to start the season. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, it's
exactly what was
wasn't it?
ordered. You know, I'm looking at the team on the pitch today, and there was not one player that you could say that didn't play well today. I believe every single one of them really put in a shift. When you're looking at all the way from the back, I thought Romero, Dyer and Davis all put in stellar performances. Bentancur and Højbjerg kept things steady and ticking along. Emerson and Sessegnon, what performances they put in. Absolutely brilliant. Kane was orchestrating things from the middle with brilliant passing. Sonny was looking lively. And best till last, Kulusevski, man. Oh, my God. What a performance in that second half from Kulusevski. He was unplayable. They couldn't get near him.
Ginger God. That's what it is. Ginger God. Speak about this man.
Man,
what
this
did
man.
you actually? What did you? Do you think we were talking to people, asking them if they feel like he's like either is it potential of world class, or do you think he's like tiptoeing on world class right now?
Well, world class. It depends how you define world class. I mean, it's a very it's a weird one when you're talking
I
about
define it
world.
by the word Kulusevski. Does that help
No,
you?
but listen, in the second half, I don't know what Conte said to him at half time, but in the second half, he was getting the ball and literally no Southampton player could get anywhere close to him.
Yeah.
He was knocking it past them. He was putting in unbelievable crosses into the box. I mean, how many assists did he get? Was it 1 or 2 in the end today?
He got 1 assist, but he got a goal as well.
Yeah, I mean, the guy was completely unplayable. I mean, I don't know what to say about him because he's just too good. And, you know, all this debate about Saka, Kulusevski, there's no way Saka can put in a performance like that on a consistent
not that I've ever
basis.
seen.
No chance.
Yeah, and he's not getting the goals and assists that Saka's getting either, that's for sure. Look, it was a stellar performance. And let's talk about the wing-backs because they were heavily involved in everything good that we did today. Sessegnon getting a goal, Emerson getting 2 assists. So how good were the wing-backs as well today?
Yeah, you know what? Both of them really, really, really impressed me. I mean, Sessegnon, the way he seems to have a bit of confidence about him now. And I don't know, he was talking after the game. I don't know if you guys saw or heard, but he was saying that Perisic has given him a lot of pointers and a lot of tips, and he's become a bit more confident because of it. And I heard you guys talking about who gets the shirt at left wing back for Chelsea, and you got to stick with Sessegnon, in my opinion.
Really?
In my opinion, you got to stick with Sessegnon. If you're putting in those kind of performances, he keeps the shirt, for my opinion. You can't take him out of the team after a performance like that. You just can't, in my opinion.
But did you see what Perisic was like when he came on? He was
and I thought
pretty
Sessegnon was
impressive.
better. I agree, but I think Sessegnon played better.
No, I think in the first half, I think Cess had moments where they were just he did the exact right thing at the right time. Like first time crossed was actually absolutely a beautiful cross. If I feel like Kane probably should have been there for that header, but there's something about when I think they're 2 different players as well, but there's something about Perisic just looked kind of mean. Like he was give me the ball, I'm gonna double step, I'm gonna get to the byline. I don't think anyone took the ball off him. It's a good problem to have. It's an incredible problem to have, you know.
Of course,
but
it really
I
is.
think against Chelsea, I think you got to put your very best team out. But I do know what you're saying, because that's kind of what Conte's been saying is look, people have got to come in and fight for their team, for their spot. You can't just have a great performance and then give someone else a spot.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. That's my exact opinion, and I think the same goes for Emerson on the other side. I know Doherty is no Perisic. There's no 2 ways about that. But I think Emerson's got to stay in the team now against Chelsea. Would you guys like to see the exact same 11 against Chelsea?
Yeah, I think so.
I say the exact same 11, but just personally, I would like to. You know what? I would go for this against Chelsea. I would go for Perisic in, just because I think don't buy a world class player like him if you're not going to play him every time he's fit, and then I would rest, because I think resting shouldn't be considered as a negative. I think that's the thing a pro player has to realize is that we've got a long season ahead and no one can afford to get injured. So I would say give Cess a rest because he has had injuries before. And then I say Basuma in for Højbjerg.
That shot from Basuma at the end was class, wasn't it? It was absolutely class. And also, back on Ryan Sessegnon, that offside goal, I couldn't see a replay.
What finish?
What a finish that was, with his right peg as well. Oh, man. These things that we saw from Sessegnon today is what we've been calling him to do the whole of last season.
Not seen since
the whole
Fulham.
of last season.
Yeah, absolutely right. And it's interesting that we scored 4 goals and we were so creative, and Kane and Son weren't even that involved throughout the game.
I know. I said that right after the game. I was like, how the hell have we scored 4 goals today? And Kane and Son, between them, they only got 1 assist, right? With Sonny, with Dyer's goal.
Yeah.
So unbelievable stuff. Did you see the stuff that was going on Spurs social media with Dyer and Tanganga and stuff?
I saw that Dyer said Tanganga. Dyer said he told Tanganga to put him in his fantasy team, and he didn't.
Yeah, and Spurs quote retweeted or something saying that something about Tanganga, and they quickly deleted it. Apparently, They were like, shame on
really?
you, Tanganga.
I never saw. I didn't see that one. That's quite funny. No, but look, it was a brilliant way to start the season. And do you think that was like a statement performance for you in terms of how we played?
I think, look, I don't know about statement performance, but I think these are the performances that we need to have against these kind of teams at home. When you go back to last season, we lost 3-2 to Southampton at home. We lost to Chelsea away. We lost to Wolves at home. Those are our opening 3 fixtures of the season. So I think if we can turn those 3 defeats into 3 wins, then I think that's a statement to go on a little run like that. But if you're looking at this in an isolated game, I don't think it's a statement. I just think it's what we need to be doing against these kind of teams.
Yeah, battering the teams who we should win, batter them in third gear. And then
Exactly.
And then
we should have scored 6 goals today, right?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, we should have actually battered them. And yeah, look, it was an incredible way to start the season. How was the atmosphere in the ground being there?
It was all right. It was all right. I expected better, to be honest. It got going a bit more in the second half, but it was a bit quiet today.
Yeah, a bit quiet. Yeah, look, and Liverpool drawing today, opening day of the season. Chelsea just scraping past Everton. We definitely look at. I think we're going to end the day on top of the league.
Yeah, but don't fall into the trap of the Gooners and start singing "We are top of the league" after one game of the season. It's just embarrassing, man. Absolutely
Dude,
embarrassing.
Barry was almost singing it from the moon. I hear him.
we are top of the league.
No, we are top of the league. 37 games left to go, but let's keep going, man.
Exactly.
Let's keep going. Let's go and batter Chelsea next week. I'm so confident that we can go there and get 3 points. I really am.
Yeah.
I really am. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, judging by what I'm seeing today, they didn't look too impressive.
What we're seeing from them and what we're seeing from us, winning in third gear, them throwing everything at it and can't break down Everton, it's looking all right.
Happy days. Did Dele Alli start up front for Everton today?
No, he didn't. No. He didn't. He came on with half an hour
should have had
to
a
go.
goal.
He should have scored. Yeah, man, he had a
goal.
big chance and he missed.
It just slipped.
That would have got me 5 points in Predict the Prem if he would have done that.
You said 1-1.
How's your fantasy team looking? You
had Salah.
I had Salah, but I had Kane captain. I had Son who got an assist. Apart from that, I got Callum Wilson as well who scored a goal today.
There you go.
Yeah, you've done well. I've had a bit of a shocker so far.
Yeah, it's been a shock.
I'm on 30 points, but Tyrone Mings didn't even play for Villa just as well because they got battered today.
Yeah. I've got 20 points so far. Need to sharpen up. But
shape up, or your tenner's coming my way.
Exactly.
Oh, is it getting pretty
exactly, it's getting
pretty
spicy.
steep in the Daniels house? You guys
Brains, you're not clear of this. Your tenner's coming my way as well.
Oh yeah, of course. And I thought you two had your own little shindig going.
No, we haven't. Just for pride. I mean, pride's enough between me and Ben.
Nice.
Brains, I always find it weird when people call you Gav. They're like, Gav this, Gav that. I'm like, who the fuck is Gav?
Dude, I still do it sometimes. I'm just like, oh, they're telling me, right?
Nice one.
Cool, guys.
Right.
We'll see you soon.
I'll see you tomorrow, Ben.
Nice one, Ben.
Nice in the studio. Where we dissect everything.
Looking forward to it.
Take care, Flickermatrick. Get some cream on that.
I'll see you on the pool table soon, Brains. I'll see you on the pool table soon.
Little Paul Newman over there.
All right,
Such
nice
a hustler.
And I think this is the last guest. We got Elias Krishan in the house. Let's get him on to round off the show. Elias. What?
Hello, guys.
Hey, Elias. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Even better.
Yeah, what a fantastic day and a fantastic win for us, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a great day. I mean, fantastic play. And I was really excited. And what a performance by the team. Like, I mean, last season.
Oh. Sorry, you got to we got to take you off. There you go, you're back on.
Okay. So basically, I mean, last season when we used to play games and we were one goal down, we used to really struggle against teams like that. And today we really fought through it, and it was a great breakthrough in the team. And of course, first 3 goals scored by
What's going on here? One sec, you got to take. All right, you're back on.
Yeah, you were saying about breakthrough, like, and actually handling a 1-0 down, yeah.
Yeah, you can see that all the first 3 goals came from defenders. It was not from like Kane, Son, or Kulu even. The last goal was by Kulu, and that was really something interesting to see. That now even our defenders are scoring goals, and I mean, today, I think Kulusevski and Ryan Sessegnon, they were really a class today. I mean, I was especially
Class or world class? What were we saying?
world class, world class.
World
I was
class.
with some of my friends that that if England wants to solve their left back problems, they should actually look into Ryan Sessegnon and call him for the World Cup.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, well,
Absolutely.
what most impressed you with our performance today in terms of maybe our approach to the game?
It was overall just very good. It was overall just a class, and it was impressive. You can see that we are not just now focusing on just winning the games. We are winning the games in style. We are winning the games in that proper way. Uh, One of the main things that really impressed me was that even without the new signings that we have had, we were doing really well. Like the
Yeah.
existing players were doing really well. So it just tells us how much depth we have in our current squad for a game playing like Champions League on the same weeks as the Premier League. It just tells the squad depth even currently as of now. So which is just an exciting thing that yeah, when you're playing a long season ahead and you're already at the beginning of the season when the transfer window has not ended and you're giving that sort of performances, it's just brilliant. And I mean, I am really on fire. Like, come on, man.
Is this the most excited at the start of a season that you've been?
From the recent years, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it has been really the most exciting start of the season from the recent years.
Yeah.
I would say that you can see that yeah, they are fighting for the goals. They are even though we are 4-1 up and we have that hunger that even towards the end we were going all the way till the opponent's half and we were going in the penalty boxes making chances.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just amazing to see that we were not just content with that 4-1 win and we were going even further with that. That was really awesome to see.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And if you want to sign, where do you think we should prioritize new signings from now to the end of the window?
Well, I think definitely one main signing would be a creative midfielder. We really need one, the attacking creative midfielder. And secondly, center back, either a replacement or for Dyer in case he is down, or either somebody who can even level up from Dyer's side.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much interested in Skriniar because there are a lot of clubs interested in it, and apparently we are one of them. I'm hoping if we can get it. I don't know why. It sounds like a very unrealistic sort of ambition, but I am really looking forward to it if we can make that signing happen.
Yeah, 100%. Do you think so? It's because of the way Conte has been talking about players. Like new players not really getting the priority over the players who are doing well. Do you think a Skriniar or someone like does that affect the window? Because do you think someone like a Skriniar comes if he knows that he isn't just going to go straight in and start every game?
It does make a difference, but you have to understand Conte's style as well. When Kulusevski and Rod Bentancur joined, Conte used to give them minutes in the games. Earlier on in the Premier League because definitely Conte has given minutes to the rest of the new players as well in the pre-seasons, but Premier League is all sort of different game, so he needs to let them just gel in as subs for first few games. Then we might see the real game shaping up. I think after our first break, yeah.
And how many points do you think we have at the end of the first month? So let's say after the end of the first 5 games, how many points do you think we have out of that? The way we're playing now.
I am hoping for about, I'll say about 16 points.
Wow.
Out of 18. I think we might drop points in a West Ham away game. That's the one I'm thinking it might be a draw. That's the only game I'm thinking that we would drop points.
So you think we're going to beat Chelsea next week?
We're going to beat Chelsea next week. Chelsea were really. Chelsea were not up to the mark there, definitely, even though they had new signings coming in and Koulibaly was there and all that. But the way I think we have been playing, we can beat Chelsea, really. The way we have played today, we can beat Chelsea.
Yeah.
It's just that we need to be solid in our defense, don't concede an early goal, otherwise they will spark the bus. So we need to press from the beginning. And if we can do that, and if we can get the first goal, I think we can beat Chelsea. And don't let them get the first goal. Yeah.
100%.
Definitely
I
right
agree
about that.
I really
Elias, great to see you, my man. Sorry, running out of time. We need to go, but great to see you. And cheers for calling
Great to see
in.
you guys. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you
Nice
Spurs.
one, Elias.
All right. I think that is the end of the fan show for today. We got one more super chat here from Rambro. He says, man of the match, Kulu. The ginger one was immense today. Let's build on this. Sessignon and Emerson stepped up and showed what they can do, hopefully for more than the odd game. And that's the key, isn't it? Just them getting to play in that kind of manner consistently. And then we could be onto some very good stuff.
What's good to hear is like a kind of like unified reaction from the fans. Like, you know, like it's so clear that Kulusevski is something else. And like if he continues on this path, wow, like we genuinely have like replaced Bale finally as like another world-class player to Kane and Son. So, oh man, I'm so stoked.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But Brains, thank you very much for joining me on the fan show and the watch along today. Much appreciate your contributions and your thoughts and everything. And thank you. I hope you had a nice time.
Absolutely, always a pleasure. Always have a good time with the Daniel Bros.
Come on, great way to start the season. It's been an absolute brilliant day from us at WeAreTottenhamTV. Thank you everyone for joining us and watching and contributing to the content. And all your comments, your super chats, and your likes and your views. Really, really do appreciate all the support. Spurs end the day top of the league, so remember that. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.